Let's do the D&Ds indeed. Okay, so last time you guys made it to the Cloud Giant village, ascending their mountain to the Keep in the Clouds, where you met Thiazi, the leader of the giants, the mechanical arm glowing with arcane power. And after learning about the party and their quest, he offered them a deal. In exchange for telling them the location of Bella Ulun's lab, he wanted the party to help him change the Cloud Giant's position in the Ordering, the Giant's class structure. He had two plans. One, to assassinate two Storm Giant leaders and enforce a hostile takeover. Or two, instill the Cloud Giants in Kavran politics, getting them a position on the council and including them as members of the country. The Chief Thiazi also agreed to help in Balsam as a race of Kavran. The party chose the second option, to a more peaceful and diplomatic approach. And after staying the night, they departed the next day, setting out for the dwarven city of Garenheim once more. So, traveling purely, you have departed the mountain in wind form. It'll take you about half a day in wind form to travel the distance between the mountains.
Go.
So, sometime mid-afternoon, you arrive at the city. Upon your arrival, who would you look for first?
Probably Queen Gone? The head lady who's... Yeah, I forgot her name. I just know it begins with a G. The head lady here. Doesn't begin with a G, does it?
She's just like a no wait, hold on.
Maybe not queen, but you know. The head lady here who we've, been speaking to loads.
Lady Cathra?
Cathra!
That doesn't begin with a G.
You know what? They look the same, though. G and a C? Made sense in my head. Anyway, yeah.
It's a K.
Oh, I thought it was a C. Never mind.
Oh, I've got no idea.
I'm doing really well.
Okay.
Woo.
Well, yeah, I got it wrong.
Yeah, well, you've got Lady Cathra Moulton, who is the High Mage of Gardenheim, and is sister-in-law to King Fargrim Garn, who maybe...
That was his fucking name, King Garn! Garn. I knew it was like Garnenheim, but not Garnenheim. It wasn't just like King Garnenheim. It was King Gar something. Okay, that's who I was thinking of. No, him. I thought Cathra was the queen, but no. Yes, I think we go to him. Because he's like the king guy. And we need to rally the rest of the council. So, like, I guess on our way, can we, like, get some guards and be like, hey, can you guys go get the councillors? We need to, like, urgently talk with them, like, ASAP.
Yeah. Yeah. So you send off a couple of guards to gather these individuals. Another one leads you through to the familiar audience chamber of the king that you've been before. You wait a little bit. After a few minutes, Lady Kavran comes to talk to you. She kind of comes in. You've summoned everyone. What brings you all back in such of a? Is everything all right?
Yes, we need to talk about something so that we can gain access to somewhere. And we may have an ally, but they come with a little bit of a stipulation. And we just like to discuss that with everybody before we, yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me anything more now?
Or
we wait for everyone to arrive?
Yeah, so there's a bunch of cloud giants. Super nice guys. Very, very wonderful people. And beneath their city, or somewhere in their city, is a forge. For us to gain access to that forge, we need to sorry, I lost my train of thought. For us to get access to that forge, he wanted two things. Either A, we go and kill some storm giants, which, though we probably could do, it's kind of unnecessary violence and would basically just be an assassination, which doesn't seem like a very good thing. Or we invite them into the Council of Kavran and get them, I think they put a seat at the high table. And before you say anything, I think it would be a good idea because A, they've agreed to be allies in the fight against Balsam. They're willing to fight for this land and stuff. And B, you guys need to show some diversity. I mean, you've got diverse people, but I don't think having giants there would be a bad thing. I don't think having these cloud giants would be a bad thing. I think they could help out with stuff, and I think they could genuinely, cloud giants. They're known for their wisdom and glamour and shit. So, yeah, my rant over. That's what we're dealing with.
Kind of look up you quite carefully. This. This will be an interesting discussion, to say the least.
Maybe.
Let's just see how things go. Kind of just pats him on the arm and just says, I'm glad you're doing the talking.
Cool.
So, yeah, over the next few minutes, with various councillors who are there, arrive. Excuse me, as you know, some of them have departed to their various kingdoms or rulers in order to deliver the message about this new proposed meeting and the new methods that they are hoping to use. So not everyone is there. The councillors that are there are Lucinda, who is the dwarven councillor, Lady Genevine, who is the elven councillor, Lord Lucas is there, as well as both Wayrocket and Elphias, the gnomes. Rosemary and Chip, the halflings, are not there. And Bartolomeo is there, but Scaldi, the orc, is not.
Okay. I'm already seeing a problem because this feels like a conversation we need to have with everybody.
Hmm. Can they get on the phone?
Can we get them on Zoom?
Yeah. Teams them in.
That councils, they don't have teams on their phone.
Is that you like posing a question like in character, or is that you guys just?
No, I want to know if they can go. There's that mirror thing that they were gonna do.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, if you ask about this, I'm afraid not. We have some of them created, and the two companions you bought, Matilda and Regis, they've been they've been a great help. Managed to get things working better. We think we've cracked it, but it's going to take a while to create everything that we need and get transport them to where they need to go.
How do you normally call an emergency meeting?
Well, ordinarily, all the councillors are in one place, and so a messenger just needs to be delivered with the details, and the council will convene and discuss.
Again, why did they leave? But well, that's whatever.
Well,
They've left.
well, they left to deliver messages in person to the various people who. Yeah,
Who's the head of the council?
well, it's a council. There is no head.
I mean, there is a more senior one that leads each.
Yeah, every year or 10 years or whatever, the was the one that sort of finalized decisions or whatever that was,
Yeah.
wasn't there? Or was it just where the council was held? That
It's just where every few years the council changes location.
right? Okay, there was no like significance of like, and now you get to finalize the decisions or whatever.
Who normally starts the meetings?
Depends who's got something they particularly want to talk about.
What if someone's ill and can't make it? You must have things in place for when people can't make it.
Well, that's why the council was set up, so there would always be a representative of.
Well, then the ones who left are dumb because they've left. If you're always all together and this is a safe place and you know that there might be, we're in a wartime, you probably should think, ooh, I'm going to probably get called to the council. Therefore, it's their fault for not being here so they don't get a say. Carry on. Call the meeting.
Agreed.
Well, that may be your opinion, but you have
It's my
to
opinion.
persuade the remaining councillors to.
No, that's fair.
You've never had someone ill.
I mean, I'm not on the council.
Or is any of the council actually here?
Yeah, a few of the council have like
Okay,
come
I'm
in,
asking them.
Yeah, I mean, Lord Lucas. Well, yes, of course. People are ill very occasionally and things like that. But there's never been anything so pressing, and all of us being in the same city means that if there is anything, vitally important, they can still sort of, have messages passed back and forth and be kept somewhat in the loop.
Well, someone send message.
Sending spell.
Get some sending spells going.
Uh,
Get all your mages, all your big wizards.
Are you familiar with the sending spell and its limitations? Lady Catherine asks.
Yeah. We used one the other week.
Then you know it's not good for long discussions or big communication.
Look, I'm the one giving ideas. I don't hear anyone else giving suggestions. So until you start piping up, I'm going to keep going. We got a forge to find, and this is time wasting.
Why don't we just wait until all the council people here are assembled, and then we'll deal with whatever comes next. We'll work with what we've got.
Okay.
I think that'll work.
So over the next 10, 15 minutes,
Oh God, taking their time, aren't they?
yeah, the various councillors drift in. You get a sense of who is here and who is not.
I am here and I'm also not.
What does that mean?
Exactly. I'm glad you understand.
JJ, if you were supposed to know what it meant, you'd know what it meant.
Guess I would. So after sort of 10, 15 minutes, the 6 councillors are assembled before you. And then sort of a little while after that, coming in through sort of like one of the back doors to a different side, you hear the uneven footsteps of King Gum as he makes his way in and settles himself upon his throne. So I gather something is afoot. You've summoned everyone here.
Something is not just a foot, it's a whole leg, sir. Sorry, I just thought of that joke and I thought that'd be funny. Yes. We have... Do you want me to take this? Do you want to explain it?
I mean, we're just going to explain the exact same thing as we explained to Thingy-Mabob a minute ago.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. Just, okay, everybody. Listen up. So, we have been out into the world. Did we explain our plan to them? Like, what we're doing?
Yeah, we must have.
If not, I will explain it now. I'll say, so you guys are aware we're out, like, fighting the good fight, sort of getting stuff ready to fight Balsam. We're going to take on Balsam ourselves. Don't you guys worry about that. But to do that, we need a special weapon. A weapon that can see magical connections, magical tethers, and cut these magical tethers, severing Balsam's magic, from Balsam, so that he is much easier to fight and defeat. Now, in order to do this weapon, we have been to the ethereal plane and got the eyes of a spectatrice beholder, and we've been fucking all over the place collecting all of this sort of stuff. And the final ingredient is we need to forge a sword capable of cutting tethers of magic. To forge this sword, we need to go to a very special forge. This forge, we believe we found one underneath where some cloud giants live, about half a day's flight away. So like a couple of days walking, I suppose. Many days walking, actually. In these mountains. I cannot stress enough how vital it is that we get this sword. Without this sword, we cannot beat Balsam. Without this sword, we are screwed. Effed in the P. So, we find these cloud giants, and they're very amenable, they're very friendly, they're very wise people, cloud giants. and they're very strong and stoic. But they have one small condition for us gaining access to this forge. And that teeny tiny small condition is that they be considered for the role of the council, like as to become part of the council. Now, before you say anything, I know what you're maybe all thinking. I mean, I'm not politically minded. I don't know any shit about politics and what this could mean, but I would just like to say this. They have offered their help in the fight against Balsam. Giants have offered their help. I don't need to tell you how big that could be in terms of our defenses and attacking and all sorts of stuff. And I think probably having giants on the council might be like quite good. I mean, giants are pretty useful people. They're very wise people. They're a very ancient race. They're big. They're a very ancient race. They have, they seem to have genuinely good intentions of ruling and being good, and being good, honest members of Kavran, which is, I think, generally just what they want. They want to just be members of this place like any of you guys are. They have a kingdom. They have a small plot of land. I know it's within Dwarven Mountains, but it's like, their bit of land. And I truly believe that they could do some good for Kavran. But that's what we're here to say. You may now discuss. You may now ask any questions.
Gossip among yourselves.
There's quiet for a few seconds before you hear the sound of laughter.
Oh,
just light, but it's derisive. And Lucinda kind of pushes away to the front of the little group and just well, that's all very amusing. I'm sure we'll appreciate the levity at this time, but giants? Really? You wanna trust giants?
Yes! Why do we trust halflings, little people, if we can't trust big people? I have nothing against halflings, by the way. This is just a thing. Like, I know some bits about giants, and I know that cloud giants, specifically cloud giants, are not the most evil of the bunch. I understand, there's fire giants, and there's storm giants, and there's all these different scary types of giants, but they are just another people living on Kavran, just like any of you. And I think if you were to open up to them a little bit, you might at least hear them out. I think judging them on face value is not a very nice thing to do. It's pretty problematic.
That's not the most evil of giants. So we have that to look forward to.
Well, okay. There are evil elves. There are evil tieflings. I mean, hey, tieflings are half devils, for God's sake. Or they descend from devils, or whatever it is. And elves, I mean, they're descendant from Fae.
And they're tricky.
We all have tragic lineages. We all have, not all of us are the most, can say our race has been the most pure beings ever. People of all races have committed all kinds of atrocities all over Kavran. We have seen it in the past year. We have seen all the kinds of atrocities that all races, all kinds of people have done. Mm-hmm. I've been stabbed by everything from a halfling to a tiefling to an elf to a giant. Half-elf, everything.
Occurrence.
Yeah, everything. I think not letting these people at least have a chance and at least speak to you is, a little unfair. Particularly when, at this very troubling time, we are in quite massive need of allies. And even after this, probably still going to be in quite massive need of allies. Because if all of this has proved one thing, is that Kavran is fragile. Kavran is extremely fragile. And you are going to need someone strong. You are going to need something strong, strong of will, stoic, like giants, for example, to keep a level head. But I need to remind you that all of you ran into a meeting with no guards or anything, which is very clearly a trap. And we had to come save you.
Yes, we're all very grateful for you for the danger you put yourselves in for that. As you say, we are incredibly fragile. Makes it seem like an even worse time to be inviting dangerous, powerful strangers into our midst.
Well, I
For
was
who
a
knows
stranger
what
last
intent.
week.
I'm not saying that you need to bring them in. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you could at least speak with them. That you could at least talk with them and see what they have to offer. That's all I promised them. I didn't promise them a seat at the table. I promised them an interview. I promised that you would hear them out with open minds, without prejudice, open minds, and be able to speak and hear what they have to say and hear their reasonings for maybe why they could join the council. Because they are just another people walking across Kavran, just like you all are.
And what did
Very
they
clever, ancient race.
want for a kingdom? You expect us to give up? You expect, she gestures toward King Fargo, my liege to give up vast swathes of kingdom, power, land, subjects under his control, and just hand that over to giants? To giants? To people, to creatures that destroy our flocks, kill our people? No.
I kill lots of
say
people.
no. I vote no. We are a council. I vote no, and none of you will change my mind on this. No. And she spins on her heel and just marches out.
Look, she can't leave. This is a
Who was
council meeting. You have to stay.
that speaking, by the way?
That's Lucinda, the dwarven councillor.
Bitch Cinder.
Okay.
That kind of land, she has to stay.
She doesn't.
This is like court. You have to stay for at least 30 minutes. You're not allowed to leave.
Which court?
What's it called? The proper one.
The Crown Prosecution Service?
Yeah, you have to, if you're in the gallery, you have to stay for 30 minutes.
Do you?
You're not allowed to leave.
Huh?
So once you go in there, you have to stay for 30 minutes and then you can go.
Right. A real thing?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know that?
Someone went.
Someone went.
Yeah.
And they weren't allowed to leave.
Yeah. You're not allowed your phone in there either.
No, you can take pictures or recordings.
Hid in a bush.
They hid their phone in a
seems
bush.
to know a lot about
Hope
court.
for the
I'm
best.
starting to think she went.
I really want to go.
It's really boring.
Right.
No, I don't
Yeah,
think it would be.
I honestly cannot think of something I would like to do less with my day is sitting court.
I think it would be fun.
Fair enough.
Anyway, yeah, she's not allowed to leave. I stand by the door. Sit down.
What?
Sit your ass down.
No. She has no power over me, and she just continues to walk past you.
You
Who's got
have.
command? Tell her to sit down.
I don't think casting a spell on a councilman would be very good. I think I've also got command, but I'm just
Okay.
not.
If she's
Well,
just walking away, I'll say, fine. Then the fate of your land is up to other people who don't even live there. And if you live with that, fine. If you can live, fine. But once the giants live in your house. You have no reason to complain because you weren't here to defend your corner.
She just slammed the door. She turns around and she goes, "I cast my vote no, and you will not change my mind." And then she
I'm not telling you to change your mind. I
slams the door and leaves.
Fine. Well, everyone vote yes, so I can make a giant live in her house.
Anyway, now that she's gone, she's cast her vote. Fair enough. Everyone has a right to vote. And it's understandable that as someone living in these mountains and maybe someone privy to, giants and what they can do, you know what? It's fair enough. But all I'm asking
Needs to
is
stay.
all I'm asking for is that they hear her out. Hear him out, sorry. Hear the cloud giants out. They clearly have a plan. They've not just asked for this. This was a chieftain who clearly has a vision for his people and has clearly thought about this a lot. The very least you could do is hear him out. The very, very least. You don't want it? You don't have to take it. You can say no.
Lady Genevieve speaks up. She says, "Stix, I appreciate what you're saying, but you gotta respect their opinion." And I personally feel like we are too few at the moment to make any sort of decision.
It's not a decision, though. It's just a decision to see if they can be considered. It's not actually the consideration.
Yeah, it's like a first stage interview.
Exactly. There's at least 6 stages, and he probably won't even get an email telling him that he didn't get through.
In less than 2 weeks, we have a meeting, assuming Lady Catherine. In less than 2 weeks, Lady Catherine says she can get everything up and running. We'll have a meeting with everyone there. King Corwin will be there, and everyone will have far more people there. Why don't we wait until then, when things can be discussed amongst everyone to make a decision?
Do you think Balsam is waiting?
Ooh.
Drop mic.
I don't know what he's doing.
Well, he's not waiting. I'll tell you that.
For every second we delay on this, it's a second where we don't get to forge the thing we need to get to defeat him.
Exactly.
I understand the politics around it. I do. You can't just make a decision on behalf of people who aren't here. I understand that bit. But what I don't understand is you guys not. Well, I just don't think you guys are understanding that if we don't get into this forge, Balsam lives. Balsam wins. You can defeat his armies, sure, but he'll just come back. We need that forge that we can beat him for you. You can, I mean, if you want, you can get other adventurers go out and find some other way of beating him. We're the ones who've come the closest so far. We're the ones who've done our research, have the abilities, have the resources to be able to do this. The only last bit of resources we need, and that anyone else will need, is inside that forge. And all we're asking is just that you just, like, you guys here, not even officially as council members, just speak with him, hear what he has to say, and maybe you can take that to the other council. Then you guys can make notes, take what he's said to the other members of the council, and bring that forward. Or we can wait 2 weeks and see what happens.
Little White Rocket, the gnome, steps forwards, kind of holding onto a little magical hearing aid that she's got, a little sound enhancing device in a little deaf ear. I'm aware of the legend of Bellerolu, but to actually think that it exists is well, that's quite a thing. But I'd be very interested in hearing anything the Giants have to say on on that in particular.
So
But
good.
I mean, there are certainly many legends out there of incredibly powerful magical forges built and lost over the years. I mean, what makes you think the Giants really know what they're claiming to, any more than any other legend might be true?
Because
We
he
agree
knows.
to meet them. How do we know that they can back up their end of the deal?
Because the meeting is just a meeting, it's not an official signing of anything. That's
Yeah.
why.
Beyond that, you can just meet them, see what they have to say, and then go from there. You can have meetings at their place, go visit them, see what they have to do. All that sort of stuff can be sorted after we've beaten Balsam. But for right now, all they're asking for is, or all we're asking for them is a meeting, and maybe they'd be considered in talk, like in helping out and stuff. We just need access to that forge, and he has this crazy arm mechanical device that was clearly crafted somewhere. Yeah,
Interesting.
giant mechanical arm that was expertly crafted, and he says from the forge beneath them. So
Indeed.
that's that. Yeah.
Bartolomeo kind of raises his head from his sort of hunched, elderly, backbent position. Well, I think that the best solution would be that we don't make any decisions now, but we agree that in 10 days, when we have the meeting, we shall make a decision then. In the meantime, there is time enough for those who wish to gather more information to meet with an emissary should King Fargrim allow such a thing. Then all parties will be placated. Those who wish to entertain this idea can do so, and then once we are assembled, we can add it to the agenda of things to discuss in 10 days' time.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Thank you for being mildly open-minded.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
He sort of spreads his hand in a placating manner. But the argument did not seem to be getting us anywhere, so I think time for cooler heads to prevail and everyone to decide for themselves is what we need. Plus, it will give us time to send messages to the others and potentially allow them to be here in person should they wish.
Okay.
That's a fair point.
Shall we go back? Not right now, but shall we go back to the Giants and tell them that and see what they say?
Yeah, we probably should, shouldn't we?
Then we might be able to get something some more information from them as it's
Yeah.
in motion.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, probably. Otherwise,
Otherwise, we're gonna have to wait 10 days, and I don't want to wait 10 days. I
yeah.
want
Otherwise,
levels.
yeah. Well, yeah. The thing is, we're gonna have to wait 10 days for this meeting, anyways.
Yeah, but we could be doing a forge thing in these 10 days.
We could be, yes. But then after that 10 days, it's not like we're going to go marching on Balsam the very
I
next
am.
day. Oh, yeah. But actually, yeah, I suppose we could, and then
Yeah.
see what happens. But I thought the plan was to get the armies of Kavran to be an almost distraction for us. But
Yeah.
no, I agree with you. I think we need to make the most of our time while we've got it. So yeah, I mean, otherwise we could talk and ask about these storm giants, see what they've done, see why.
Yeah, if we have to do a murder side quest in 10 days, I mean, it'll give me something to do for 10 days, I guess.
Yeah. Or, I mean, we could always just try and sneak in.
Yeah,
But
we don't know where it is.
I know, but I'm sure they have something there that tells them where it is. Maybe.
True.
I don't know. An idea.
Well, we'll go over and see what they say.
Agreed. Let's head back. I'll use. Now that we've done that, I will use the last bunch of charges to cast Windwalk again. And I guess we'll head back there potentially for nightfall, where we might be able to talk to the chief.
Yeah.
Chiefer.
Before you depart the meeting, the king kind of clears his throat. Well, I know I'm not on this council, but my personal vote would be no. However, a king does not have the luxury of entertaining personal opinion. Allowing personal feelings to dictate. I do not think that this is a good idea, but the council is in agreement, then there is a small outpost in the southern end of the Huara Valley. Anyone who wishes can travel there within a few days and be in a position to meet these giants, should they wish to, and return before the meeting.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, we will take this information to the giants and see.
Question for us as a group.
Yes.
Did we ever establish why the hell there's a council, but there's also kings, but only in like one place?
I think it's like people to work on behalf of. So you've got like a king of like a kingdom, but you need, I guess, so that you have people acting on Kavran's best interest and of like a kingdom's best interest. Because I guess within Kavran, like within the Elven Forest, there's not one king of the elves. There's like multiple cities and stuff, and I guess you need like some place that's, I don't know. That's how I've always sort of
So the
seen it.
reason the council is there is to help prevent war, basically. Whenever there are disputes and problems and interracial conflicts that may or may not arise, they are there to mediate that. The kind of biggest one that's sort of ongoing that you know about is like a border dispute between the elves and the humans on like the western edge of the forest where there are various logging operations and things going on. You've seen the kind of camps and things that both sides have set up. It's kind of a, you know, it's kind of a like a Cold War front type thing with no one really doing anything, but they're very much being like a presence there, so no one can get away with doing anything. You know, and other things when issues arise, then you know, kings and or if like a lord has a dispute with their own monarch, for example, the council can mediate that to ensure that it is fair all round and you don't end up with a dictatorous monarch who is
So the
subjugating their people.
council is higher than.
The council is the highest authority. However, one of its flaws is because it has so many members and people don't agree on things all the time, it takes them a long time to decide anything.
So it's just like Parliament.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
So it's like the Roman Republic, but without the head of the.
Without the emperor,
They,
yes.
yeah, no, because like before the emperor, they had just had like a. No, yeah, they just had like a. They just had like a big council. Yeah, a senate, and they had a head of that senate. Senate's basically a council.
Yeah.
But
But
locally.
even like this. Okay, let's go Star Wars. Even in the Senate, there is that like.
There is an elected leader of the Senate.
Yeah, they need one of those.
But that person would then be like king mighty of everything, essentially. Which is what the council is
but
to
that's
avoid.
why they're electing, not just. But it's just all a shit show.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a political shit show.
That's just the way it is. You know what? Maybe Barsam has a point.
Honestly, at this point, just bomb it and start again.
After dealing with all these council people.
So what I'm hearing is you want more politics in the next campaign.
Yes.
You heard it here first. And wants more politics.
Yes.
More arguing, less fighting.
I do like arguing.
You like stealing shoes.
I do like stealing shoes. Okay, so their job is to prevent disputes, but they are actively not discussing the dispute we have brought towards them.
Their job is to mediate disputes between I say members, but it's not like the day-to-day of the different kingdoms.
Which the giants are one of them.
The giants would not be recognised as a kingdom because they do not have a place on the council.
No, but they exist on the plane of existence.
Yeah. If they became a problem, it would be like, for example, if the giants became a problem and say they were like, you know what, we're going to carve out a piece of territory for ourselves, and they just started going down and like destroying villages and stuff like that, the council would be in charge. Or like if King Fargrim was like, the dwarves on their own are not enough, I need some help, the council would be like, right, okay. He would go to the council, and the council would be like, right, okay. Well, the Dragonborn are closer, so we'll get them to send some people, or the orcs, and not too far away, or what have you.
Hypothetically, because the giants have lived there long enough, if they did start carving out a space for themselves, what is to stop them? They have lived there the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, only the reaction of the dwarves and the various other races who might be like, well, that's not good. We've got some giants attacking us. It's about something we'll have to wait while we defend the dwarves. Let's go wipe out the giants.
This seems wrong.
I will say, like, just as I don't think I've sort of RP'd it very well. It's more just sort of sounds like I'm just being angry. But I will say, like, I think this is probably a thing that Stix has been like thinking about ever since we've been entwined in the council. Is like, none of this is working. I just want, like, I cannot wait to be done with these people and go back to living in the forest and doing nothing. Like,
literally.
And I will say, probably just from like a Stix point of view, like, I'm not very good at role playing, but you'll probably notice like Stix just becoming very like short tempered with the council and with just everybody else, and like, every time we leave the council, it's probably more just like a for fuck's sake, like, like when you just come off like a team's meeting with a problematic like co-worker,
Yeah.
like, and that's no fault of like the world building, whatever. I think that's just who Stix is as a person.
That's
like,
it is.
you know,
It is not a perfect system. And
yeah. I mean,
and
what
like
system?
Stix,
But
like none of you guys are really like characters who massively want to engage in like politics and things like
No, I
that.
just
yeah,
want to punch people in the
Like,
face.
yeah,
you are very much a party of people who will often punch first and ask for forgiveness later.
yeah. And I think, and with that as well is obviously we think it's just, to us we think it's so clear. Yeah, let's just add the giants in. But they do make some good points. Okay, so would they have to carve land out? There would be other issues with this. Do we now just start adding in whatever, people or race or whatever that wants to join the council? Do they automatically just get an in? Like that. There are other larger issues to consider, but just in our fairly, politically naive minds, it's quite simple to just be like, oh yeah, let's just add them in so we can do this one thing. But at the same time, that is definitely what Stix thinks, is just, can we not just add them in to do this one thing, and then we'll sort out what that really means later. And I do think Stix just sort of comes out of the meeting very frustrated and sort of is just very seriously like ruminating over how hard is it to kill a storm giant. Like, how hard would it be?
The beginning of Arwen's dictator villain arc.
Okay.
Just to deal with this, because this is getting silly.
Well, yeah, like, to be fair, like, even I was thinking, like, I definitely think, like, after this, Stix is done helping people, and he's just going to go back to being, like, an old, just help the land kind of, like, after this, Stix is done helping Kavran as a whole, I think.
Yeah.
Which might put him at odds with, which probably would put him at odds with, actually probably wouldn't put him at odds with his oath, but it's, he wasn't, Stix isn't built for this. Stix is built for...
There's ways and means, Stix's oath is to the land, like...
As long as you recycle, you're doing your part.
Yeah, as long as I recycle.
Like, as long as Stix doesn't go around going, well, I'm just going to kill these lumberjacks because the trees are more important, he's probably fine.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. But, yeah, he's definitely ruminating on it. But,
yeah, like,
I guess we'll go see what these...
That was one of the things that, you kind of got confirmation from when you visited Aramis before, was that, it's not just about a small section of the forest, it's about how your impact on things can be far-reaching, and different people from everywhere can be.
Yeah,
I think we should go home and we'll start a a town recycling club that can meet every month, and then that will be you doing your bit.
Yeah.
Community.
There's a whole bunch of other shit about be the light and all that sort of stuff.
Light.
Yeah, like there's like paladin subclasses actually have some like fucking dope ass sort of stuff about, you know, be the light, be. I forgot what it is now. I have to look it up, but it's kind of cool, and it's kind of what I'm trying to do with. But
see what you can find in this book. Quite useful, this book, yeah.
Accessibility.
So, tenets of the ancients. Kindle the light. Through your acts of mercy, kindness, and forgiveness, kindle the light of hope in the world, beating back despair. Shelter the light. Where there is good, beauty, love, and laughter in the world, stand against the wickedness that would swallow it. Where life flourishes, stand against the forces that would render it barren. Preserve your own light. Delight in song and laughter, in beauty and art. If you allow the light to die in your own heart, you can't preserve it in the world. Be the light. Be a glorious beacon for all who live in despair. Let the light of your joy and courage shine forth in all your deeds.
That sounds like something out of the Bible, and I don't think I can get behind this.
It does.
Well,
it does
those
sound
are
very.
the tenets of the Oath of Ancients from the Player's Handbook. I'm never gonna, you know, really be one to force you to adhere to those, but you know, the essence of Stix, if Stix starts swaying from who he is as a person, then maybe. But
he will get smelted.
And if you want to, obviously, if you ever want to, like, I don't know whether you have or not, but set your own tenets down, like as to what Stix's Oath actually is. Otherwise,
I've always just sort of thought of it as those, but with just an added thing of like, oh yeah, and plants are cool. Like,
yeah.
Stix got a bit of paper with that on it one day, and then wrote at the bottom, "And plants are cool."
Yeah. oh yeah, and recycle. You know.
It helps the plant.
Basically, or I guess maybe more that would possibly come more from just like living out in the wild. But it does seem kind of interesting that those tenets, like you get all those tenets, and then you get a bunch of plant shit. Like those tenets, nothing in there says anything about plants.
Yeah, it's all light.
Yeah, it's all about like light and. You'd assume you'd get things like, I don't know, like guiding bolt or the daylight spell or something like that.
Radiant.
Yeah.
Lots of radiant.
But you end up with plants. I mean, I much prefer the plant because now I have my paladin druid, like paladin boy. But still. But yeah, that sort of thing of like be your own light, sort of thing, and sort of hold on for hope of humanity. Stix is definitely like, oh god, that's really fucking hard right now. These people are so dumb.
You have to do it every day.
These people are so dumb, and they're looking after everybody, and everything's going wrong. Oh god. But yeah, that's where Stix is at. But yes, let's head to the giants. Let's see what they have to say, and we'll regroup after that and come up with our own plan. What to do on my team. Boom.
Yes.
Plan Rooney.
Okay. So you're gonna head back to the giants.
The giants.
You got enough remaining charges on your.
Yep, I get 2. Yep, I get 2 uses of Windwalk a day.
If you generate enough each day.
Yeah. So I get my things back.
What's your max charges now? It's something like 15, isn't it?
It's 15, yeah. And
Okay.
wind walk is 6, so I get 2 wind walks and then like 3 other.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So yeah,
Okay.
basically.
Yeah. So I think with a little bit of time this is taken, you could get back to the giant village if you wanted, or you could travel long enough to potentially get there. Excuse me. It would be after dark, so it'd be a slight navigational check involved to find the mountaintop village again, if you wanted, or you could, camp and get there next day. It's up to you guys.
Did Arwen see a tree there?
In the village, yeah.
Could get there via tree.
Tree, yeah.
Yeah, could just tree.
I'll
You just
tree
tree?
us there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna tree that now. Okay. Yeah. So you cast transport via plants. Obviously, after spending the necessary time to leave the underground city, make your way outside, find a tree, go through the tree, and you appear on the mountaintop again.
Woohoo!
Sup, homies?
Hey guys, we're back. Miss us? Probably not. We were here this morning. We need to go see the chief, so we'll head up the steps towards the castle to go back and see the chief.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You begin making your way. You get maybe 100 feet up the stairs before you hear a familiar voice call out, "Oh there! Back so soon?"
Hello.
Hello. Yes, we are back, baby. We have been to the places and done the things, and we have some news, and we would like to talk to your chief about what we've heard and maybe about some other stuff.
Yeah. So you turn around to see and hear the voice, and you see Northie just standing there in his familiar, sort of like smart attire, almost like suit adjacent attire, and fine silks and things.
There.
Make a perception check.
If I can't see it, that's really embarrassing. 14.
14. Let's put dice going because I need to roll something. Don't actually know what it was. Oh, that's a 1. There we go. Yeah, you hear like a of heavy like wing beats, and then like sort of a clacking sound of like claws landing on stone, and you turn around and just there is Nimbostratus just like coming into land on the side, and has like you get the sense they have potentially tried to sneak up on you. But probably because they forgot that they can't fly over the giant stairs, that forced them to suddenly like land so harshly and be alert. You were alerted to their presence. But they
I
do.
can pretend.
But they. If you want.
I pretend to be surprised. Ah!
Okay, make a performance check. Just for fun. It's a very over dramatic performance.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, oh my, you would for a tiny child that didn't really understand.
Baby.
Uh,
She eats it up. Absolutely love it.
Sure, yeah, we go with that. Comes over and begins rubbing shoulders with Hugo.
Oh.
I know you mean that in a cute way, but I'm just imagining them
Oh,
like proper. Proper swaggery lad. Anyways, let's go speak to the Chiefa. Well, that's not. There's the chief. Can we speak to him?
Says Horval. Your chief is not here at the moment. He had out this morning with Mulgrasset here. Mulgrasset to look into the thing you were asking about. Just so that he is prepared should you come through. I'm guessing, given your swift return, that you received a short, sharp no at your request.
Not necessarily a no. Not a yes, but not necessarily a no. Basically, the council is hesitant, which is to be understandable given what's going on in the world. So, what we are thinking is that there is a place where you could meet a member of the, where an emissary could meet some of the council or meet someone, maybe have a brief discussion, and then in 10 days' time, the council is having a meeting. Our council is having a very large meeting as to what to do about this Balsam fellow. Perhaps your chieftain could come to this meeting and make his case for your people and make his case for your place upon the council. Then all the council would be convened. Your chieftain now has 10 days to prepare for this, so that's good. And I believe this would be the best course of action. Obviously, we'd prefer it to be a bit sooner, but unfortunately, that's the next time all the council are meeting.
Where is this meeting place?
The meeting place is in that place I've forgotten about. It begins with an O. I'm thinking of Albrecht.
I was trying to find it on the map earlier, and I don't actually know where it is.
It's not labelled on the map.
Oh.
That makes sense. It was that place, and I give him the name, which JJ will remind me of now.
The something alley.
The Hook Rara Valley.
Oh.
Hook Rara Valley.
Not an alley.
Hook Rara Valley.
I don't know this name. I assume it is a dwarven name. Let us consult the maps.
Ooh.
I have several maps in my chambers that I'm sure will illuminate things.
Indeed.
And he begins to make his way up the giant stair, leading you up. If anyone, at any point would like to do anything else, do chat. Otherwise, he will.
I think we should go upstairs.
Yeah, lead you up the staircase. It still has that familiar sort of misty, cloudy coating, which kind of makes you feel a little bit worried. When the first sort of half inch or so as your foot sinks through cloud before it hits solid cloud, as it were.
I'm just using my spear to just keep my spear in front of me a little bit, just like
a walking stick, just on the step ahead of you every time.
Yeah. Just to make sure I get my footing.
Yeah. It takes you some time to climb the stairs, but as you make your way up, the light continues to fade and early evening sets in. um, until you find yourselves at the familiar, the keep that you've seen before. Heading up to the door. Oh my god, I've completely forgotten his name. Which is a complete blank on the giant's name. Northy,
Northy.
thank you. Oh my god, it just went out of my head. Northy just raps on the door, and there is like a little like spark off his fingers, and you hear quite a heavy bolt slide back. As he magically unlocks the door, leads you inside, rather than leading you down this sort of big main corridor with this sort of like plush carpet to this audience chamber where you were before. Quickly leads you off to the side, up another like this time spiral staircase, leads you up a long like flight of stairs, like one floor, two floors, up to like a little tower, or quite a big tower for you guys. Again, opens another door with magic. This time, enters into what looks to be like some sort of like sitting room type sort of space. There's a little like, sofa, a little dining table, and a couple of doors that lead off. He goes to one. This one doesn't seem to be magically locked this time. Pushes it open and leads you all into what you recognise as from Regis and Matilda and other things as being a wizard's laboratory. There are pots and like little shelves all over one wall with various spell ingredients and spell components in them, like some potion ingredients. There's a little like brewing station off to one side for maybe like potions and things like that, with all the various sort of glassware and things, as well as several like large pieces of like paper on the wall covered with various different sort of like arcane runes and glyphs and things like that. Obviously, big bookshelf with huge books in it, giant-sized books, as well as the bookshelf having a section for scrolls, all in little alcoves and things like that. And he goes over there, scans it for a few moments, and then reaches up and takes down a large scroll case. Goes over to big table. There's a little thump as he takes off the leather top off this scroll case and unrolls a big map across it, and you can see that is a map of a section of the mountain, and there are two like you can see the two valleys on the north, or three valleys on the kind of northern edge of the mountains. So you've got the one that leads to what you would know as Ealgroth Lake, the other one with the river that leads towards Garnheim, and then the other one which doesn't have a river in it at all. And lots of locations are named. Unless you speak Giantish, you wouldn't recognize any of these names, but you would recognize from their locations where they were. So you kind of identify Garnheim, Ealgroth Lake, Dorelda on the northern tip, and things like that. And what did you say the name was again?
Valley.
It was one of the valleys. Okay.
Something.
Bukrara?
That's the one.
Bukrara.
Okay. And he kind of goes over to the bookshelf. He like leaves the map, coils itself up as a like a scroll is planned to do. Spreads it out again, like grabs like a couple of little jars and like weights down the corners so that it doesn't
roll away.
Yes, doesn't like curl itself back up on it. And he goes over to a bookshelf and grabs a big like a big tome down. It's like, and then looks, pauses, and goes, and grabs a couple of like slightly smaller ones and brings them back and lays them out, and then I'm afraid we might need to do this the old-fashioned way. Are you sure you don't have anything else to go off of?
No, unfortunately, we're not from here. He didn't show us like a
No, he
picture.
just announced it as a location.
Okay. Yeah, no, unfortunately not, I'm afraid. We don't have anything.
Well, let's see if we can figure it out. I'm afraid I'm not. My dwarvish is a little rusty.
Oh, I speak Dwarven.
I also speak Dwarven.
Ah, well, that might speed us along. Do you know if the Hukrara Valley translates to anything?
Do
what you might
we?
know is Hukrara does translate to Winding Snake.
Winding Snake. It translates to. So yeah, a river. Yeah. Huh. Potentially a river and a valley, or some kind of thing like that.
Winding snake.
Okay.
That looks like a snake. The Delulu pools.
Delda
Yeah, one of them.
or Del Elder, the city,
Nah, the pools.
or Delulu.
Delulu pools.
Are you going to bastardize all my names in my next campaign as well?
Yes.
Okay. So this is an Abby thing, not an Arwen thing.
It's a both of us thing.
Alright.
I think
gonna-
it's it's just part and parcel of fantasy creating.
Yeah.
Look, when you name a character Bottle of Mayo, you can't get mad at me.
Oh, when she feels the floor begin to become less solid underneath her feet.
A bottle of mayo.
Is that not his name?
No, it is not.
Tell the class.
Bartolomeo.
I rest my case.
Yeah, I can't unhear it now. Is the problem?
Think Bartholomew,
Of
not
Mayo.
Hellman's.
That's
The Knight of Hellman's is going
it.
to slay you all.
Bartholomew Hellman.
He's going to have a breath weapon of sticky white stuff.
Ugh,
Yeah, exactly. It's
yucky.
going to stick you all down
Yuck.
when he squirts all over you.
Oh,
Yeah, and stab you with his big mayo sword.
what else called a
Bruh.
knife?
Yeah, well, yeah. Tries a DM.
I'm just a hungry person.
Okay. Well, that might help a little bit. I've got a few. I guess we're only destiny kind of like push my looks. I guess we won't be needing a dictionary if you both speak Dwarvish, but these two will probably be will probably work. Yeah, and he puts the kind of places of the two books before you, and you can see one is it's like a topical, like seem to have like topical maps and things like that. This is a what's the word? Is anthology the right word?
Yeah, well, it depends what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember.
An anthology is a collection of lots of stories or things together.
Ah, right. So yes, so one is an anthology, but not the one with the maps in. It seems to have lots of little maps. It is an I'm sure it begins with an A. If anyone thinks of the word, let me know. But it is a book containing lots of information about the different flora and fauna of various different parts of the mountains.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But it has like maps of sections and like to like sort of highlight where things might live, as well as like, and he gives that on you, and then he has like an anthology, which is like, and he says this one is um an anthology of minor histories, some embellished more than others to make them more interesting stories as opposed to a true history, but might also help us work out where the where the snake family is. Yeah, and basically kind of like puts them down and or he puts so if you want to take one and I can take the other and we can have a search and see. Yeah, and basically you've got a book to search through for them.
Oh, I love books, me.
Yeah.
Larry!
Big reader Arwen.
Oh, yeah.
At least one of them has lots of pictures in it.
Oh, I'll do the one with the pictures in it. Who's got the one with the pictures?
You can take that one if you want.
Yeah. Well, there's 2 books and there's 4 of us.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do the one with the
Uh,
pictures.
Yeah, you do the one with the pictures. Clary do the one without the pictures, and I will delegate.
What
I
am
think
I
that's
looking for?
that's
Something that helps you identify the twisting snake valley.
Okay. Well, I need someone to read the captions.
all right. Fine, I'll read your captions.
Cool.
Okay. Who would like to go first, and what check would you like to make?
Well, mine should be a looking, not a reading check.
Okay.
Can Arwen help me as I'm reading, she's looking. We sort of
I'll
help
do a
each
help.
other in that respect.
Okay. What check would you like to make then, Stix?
Well, this is about the sort of land and stuff. So, can I make some kind of nature check when studying these books and maps and things?
Yeah.
Or would that be survival?
Yeah, you can make a nature check. Yeah, it's the nature of animals.
17.
Okay. And Clary, what check do you think for your book you would be making?
Checked.
Would you be looking to do like history because it's a somewhat history book, investigation?
Yeah, history's really fucking good.
Yes.
Yeah, plus 16.
I will do history.
Okay.
We can skill check. That's a 13.
Okay. So we'll start with Stix is 17 and then move on to the additional information from Clary's 13. So, Stix, what you quickly sort of what Owen quickly fixates on, I guess, and has you reading, is several different passages about different types of actual snakes that live in various portions of the mountain. And while some of them you can quickly discount, there are a couple that kind of hold your attention. One talks about a type of snake, a hook snake, that hunts, is an ambush predator, but the way where it ambushes its prey from is from the limbs of plants and trees and things like that, it will climb a tree and kind of twist itself around, ready to dive down and strike of prey. And another one is what in the book is referred to as a spiral-banded snake, which is a snake with a pattern of 2 colors that corkscrew around its body. And they are usually, there are several different types, but they say they are usually like complementary colors. So you might get like a blue and a green for a water-based one, or like a sort of more like a dark brown and maybe sort of like a russet for something that lives on sort of more earthen territories, or maybe like like a green and like a yellow if something lives like sort of amongst trees and plants, or like a green or brown and things like that. And you look at these and you find that there are a couple of different areas on the map where these different types of snakes you think would live that also correspond with what you think might be valleys and things, but you help narrow it down. Klari, from yours and from the information that Stix and Arwen kind of quickly provide as you're going through this book somewhat more slowly, if not having pictures and Arwen being quite excitable, I imagine just flicking from picture to picture.
Oh yeah, that's how I read.
Stix apparently doesn't have a lot of time to take in each one before Arwen's bored and moves on. But you do manage to get her to stop a couple of times so you can actually read something, and you give this information to Klari. And Klari, what you read is a story about a knight who went on a quest, was successful, but along the return journey, kind of came back weary. Horse was killed. That sort of like tragic thing. But as he was trying to return home, could no longer find his way. And so he used his proficiency with magic to try and summon creatures to him to ask them for guidance. But the creatures wouldn't provide consistent information, so he was still lost. Until one day he came across a snake that he recognized. It had got itself into some difficulty. This was also a twisting snake that had twisted itself around a branch, and then the branch had broken and pinned it. So the snake was trapped. And he freed the snake, and in its gratitude, it showed him the way home. And what you recognize is this is not a fable. What's the term for a story?
Parable?
A parable, thank you. This is a parable that that comes in many different formats across many different cultures. But it's about treating people nicely and helping people for the sake of helping them rather than for what you might get in return. But you also recognize the true history in this, and that there was a knight, a minorly famous knight from long ago. And again, this is one of those stories that no one's really sure, it's similar to other races and things like that, where they'll often have their own ones. Obviously, the dwarves will tell it with a dwarven knight, and the humans will tell it with a human knight, and so on. But there's a story about this knight who had a great love of the land, who went off, suffered an injury and could no longer find his way home. But because of his love of the land, when he managed to find his way somewhat there, he managed to recognize some of the distinct. While he couldn't recognize the land and things, he could recognize the distinctions of the animals and the things like that were unique to his home. And so he used those physical signs to guide him. And between the three of you, you are able to identify and narrow down that the Hukrara Valley is actually this valley.
Fancy.
And so
Well, that's not the one I thought it was.
somewhere in this vicinity, you expect, because
Sorry, which vicinity? I was looking at my character sheet. This one. Nice.
yeah, so
Oh, it is quite winding.
It's very large.
It's very large.
a little marker here for you. That is a surprisingly good triangle when I was trying to draw a circle.
Well done.
Either way.
It's a beautiful
Thank you.
circangle.
Circangle. Circumference.
Not talking about the Hellman's ban again.
So, yeah, you have identified where you think the meeting place is, and you can convey that to Northie. Yeah. But I think that's probably a good point to take a quick 5-minute break, as I need to refill my glass of water. Alrighty, jumping right back in then. So, you guys have now identified the valley for the giants where they can meet. What would you like to do?
Tell Thingy. Have we told him?
Yeah, he's been there like with you, like looking through all this stuff.
Oh, cool.
If you guys didn't roll so well, I'd have had him make a check as well to help you out. But you know, with a 30 and a 17, like you smashed it. You guys did really well. So
Cool.
Cool.
Um,
I guess. Oh, what should we do now?
we'll
I
probably
can see
go to
kinda-
bed because
Well, it's only like halfway through the day, right?
no,
But
it's like approaching evening now because it was like half a day to get there. So it's like half. So you woke up there in the morning, half a day to get back to the dwarves, and then you spent some time there. Obviously, you're going to go speak to guards. Some of you, it's like takes time. You treed back over, climbed up. Had a bit of a conversation.
yeah, we treed over. Yeah. Right.
Climbed up. So it's like early evening-ish now.
Oh, time for dinner.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like Northie will go, like say, welcome to stay. He will like, do you want to stay inside this time?
Does cumulonimbus sleep indoors?
Nimbus Stratus.
That's the one.
Close. There is another one out there, possibly called Cumulonimbus.
there is now.
I may have spent a lot of time looking up cloud names for various things. Well, like the names of clouds, different types of clouds.
Oh, little baby owl bears.
And giants.
No. Just the owl bears. Fluffy cloud baby. Yeah, does she sleep indoors or outside?
She sleeps where she will. Outside or there's like a little roost that we have down in the village. Well, I say roost, it's just what we call them because they're owlbears, but it's all on the ground. But it's like a little barn where a few of them can stay at a time.
A few of them. There's more than one.
There's a handful of them in the village at any one time.
Shut the front door. Show me this place.
Yeah, of course. Yes. Yeah.
Show me to me, please.
Okay, yeah. It's back down in the village, so it leads you back down like a little ways through a few houses, and there's like this big, like wide, low sort of building. And that just looks like any sort of like ordinary barn, except it doesn't have any doors on it. Like the like to the front end is just like open. And from a distance, it kind of looks like it's got the equivalent of like large like horse stalls and things like that in it. Except when you get closer, you realise that they're much like wider than you'd like stable a horse in. And yeah, they're just like packed with like straw and stuff like that. You'd expect. You can see like in like a couple of them just kind of have like bales of straw in them. And then a couple of them you can see like the bales have been like torn open and like scattered around. And then there's like obvious like depressions in the middle where it's been like tamped down and like pushed to the sides to make like a little nest.
Is there anyone in here?
There's no one in there, like immediately, but like as you're getting close, you just hear like a voice again, like deep because it's a giant voice, but like higher because it clearly belongs to like a juvenile, just going, "No, give it back, give it, no, give it." And like if you go around the side, you see that there is probably like the equivalent of like 15, 16 cloud giant teenager, and she's holding one end of like a giant broom, and the other end is firmly clamped in the beak of this like dark grey and sort of like black spotted owlbear that is just like, and you can see this is like almost like a fully grown owlbear.
He's a big boy.
It's a big boy that has just like got the beak. It's just like, and he's basically doing that thing where a dog gets hold of like a piece of clothing and just plays tug of war with you.
I clap. Yay! Yeah.
Okay.
Roll per clap.
Roll to, yeah. I mean, if you want.
No, I don't want to.
I
might fail.
I'm not gonna make you roll. Yeah, you roll to clap. You roll a one. You smack yourself in the face.
And I look too sarcastic, and they both take me.
Yeah, it's alright. I think you can clap without needing to roll for it.
Good.
Yeah, this like kind of sound kind of just like cuts through the sort of tension of the moment, and the owlbear doesn't let go, but also doesn't release the end of the broom. You can see that they're like looking at you, and it's just like beak, like kind of like the feathers on them, just like sort of go up like a little bit to make yourself look like bigger. And the giant turns around and looks at you and says, "Nothing's fine. Like, there's no trouble." He's like, kind of like holds her hands. Like, "Peace, Joffrey. I'm not here to check up on you. This is one of the guests we have staying in the village for a time." It's like, "Oh yes, I heard something about some humans. I wasn't sure it was real." And Norby kind of like cocks his head. It's like, and she looks like a little like embarrassed. He's like, "Well, Brucey was, you know, saying things again." And he kind of like nods. That boy's mouth will be the death of him, and let's be honest, probably us as well. I've told you, you must have a firmer hand on your charges, otherwise they will quite literally run away with you. And kind of gestures to the broom. No, it's fine. She didn't mean anything by it. She's just playing. Have it your way. They are your responsibility after all. And he like reaches up and kind of gives reaches down and gives the owlbear like a big like you would maybe with like a child where it like ruffles its hair, but like on top of the short like fluffy feathers on the owlbear's head.
What's this owlbear's name?
Joffrey looks at you and he's like, well, this is Seraphon.
Aw. Cute name.
The whole time the conversation is going on, Joffrey's like surreptitiously trying to like, as if she's trying to like, with that, hoping that they won't be expecting it, but just tug the broom. Every time, like the other kind of like its neck is like pulled out, and it's like holds onto the broom.
That's cute.
Can I give it a little tickle under the chin?
Charlotte's right. Yeah, I don't see why not. Just
We are not liable for any loss of limb here at.
I give little tickles.
Yeah, make an animal handling check for me.
Oh, I'm bad at them.
Guidance.
Should be wisdom based.
Yeah, I'm just like basic bitch. Hold on. They're not. Oh, I get advantage.
Okay.
And guidance.
Oh,
24. Yeah, so you like reach up.
I am
You give me
proficient with
scritches under the
owlbear.
chin.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so you like reach under one hand or two.
Oh, 2.
Okay.
Oh, 1 under and 1 upward. Or at the side. Because he's quite big. Bigger.
Yeah. No, I'm just trying to think how big it would be. It wouldn't be bigger than like an arm span, so you'd
No, I
probably
do
be able to do that.
1 at
But
the bottom, 1 at the side.
one of the bottom. Okay. Yeah, you do that, and its head it like closes its eyes, and this deep sort of like rumbling begins to emanate from it. And then its head just kind of like rolls to the side towards the hand that's like scritching on that side, and it just lets out a sort of
He's
and
hooting.
yeah, like a little like hooty rumbly roar, and well not roar but like hooty.
I know what you mean.
And
Growl.
then like the the tassels of the broom would just like drop out of its mouth.
I win. I win D&D.
So,
It then kind of realizes what it's done, like open its eyes open and kind of like, and you can tell that it's like trying to debate Brum or Scritches, and Scritches win.
Hell yeah. You can take the broom tomorrow. I might not be here.
You might be eaten by an owlbear.
I won't be eaten by an owlbear.
What a way to go!
Hmm?
What a
yeah,
way
to be fair,
go.
if that's how Arwen goes, that's how Arwen goes. Like that's
Honestly, yeah.
there are worse ways.
How do the owlbears react to Hugo? Are they like? Do they play like he's another owlbear?
Yeah, like they seem like pretty like all right with him. He's of a he like he was of a comparable size to Cumulonimbus because they were juvenile, but he is like smaller than this, so you get this. You probably guess that they don't see him as a threat due to his size. You know, like a full grown dragon obviously would be like different, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm guessing Hugo to befriend all of the animals possible, so that when his reign of terror starts, he will have many allies.
Okay.
Fair.
I'm gonna be so proud of him. I already am.
Okay.
Well, I'm having a great time.
You're having a great time. Okay. I imagine I was just going to spend
All the time here.
the rest of the evening
You
here.
guys just let me
just-
know where you are and I'll possibly find you.
I imagine
Possibly.
like how willing would Arwen be to help out with Doffrey?
Yeah.
Just like how like you doing mucking out or
I'll put the hay down, I won't shovel the poo.
okay. Yeah. She like tries to get you to like you know when you've got like a new like excitable person and you're like, well, I can get them to do all the shitty stuff, literally. She's like trying to get you to do that.
No.
I know. But, yeah.
I don't actually work here.
But yeah, you know, she's like amenable enough to your presence and happy to answer questions and things like that for the rest of the evening.
I still hate the fact I can't talk to them.
Technically monstrosity still.
Makes me sad.
Speak with monstrosity.
Is that a thing?
No.
That should be a thing.
I want to be able to speak to the Albert.
Is there a spell that allows you to speak with like creatures?
Google time.
Oh yeah, do they know any language? No, Owlbears don't know Owlbear, do they?
Well, that's a great question. Can I have the updated DMG, but not DMG, Monster Manual, please? Because there is a language that a lot of flying races do speak.
It's like Auron.
That's the one, yeah. So I'm wondering if it applies to owlbears. No. They're not smart enough. Well, having said that, the primeval owlbear has an intelligence of 8, so... That would in theory be smart enough to speak. If it possessed the necessary vocal cords to do so.
Annoyingly, everything coming up is to do with Baldur's Gate, and that's not helpful because you can speak to the owlbear,
Yeah.
and that's not.
I think the movie just ruined it for everybody because in the movie she turns into an owlbear, and druids can't do that.
So
So
does Halson, doesn't it?
No, he turns into a bear.
Yeah, but he can turn into an owlbear because
Yeah.
you do the big jump.
Yeah, you can turn into an owlbear in Baldur's Gate as well.
So in quite a few things, it's very annoying.
Yeah.
absolute bullshit. Actually, no. I think the new moon druid can also turn into some extra creatures like an owlbear.
Actually,
No.
oh no, it's a new. Yeah, so.
I don't know. I'm interested now. Moon druid. Druid. Circle with the moon. Improved circle forms. There's something that's specifically scanning through. There's no like specific list of enhanced creatures.
Oh, I may be wrong.
It's on the next page. Oh no. Yeah.
Because that's.
I know, but unless it's on the next page, just like as a enhanced.
That's fighter.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You can still only get up to a CR1 though, which is so shit. I think that's way too low for a good druid.
It is to be a combat thing, which is why the moon druid's so good. It'll give you combat wild shape. So with a moon druid, you can turn into anything up to your challenge rate, 1/3 of your challenge rating. So that's up to CR6 at 18th level.
I got my fire spirit. I'm hungry.
Yeah. Which I think includes some dinosaurs and even a mammoth. I think a mammoth is CR6. Anyway. Yeah. But yeah, Stix and Klari, what are the two of you doing for the rest of the evening?
Just chilling out, really. I don't think anything particularly special. Just chilling out with Elvis. For me, I think. Nothing particularly special.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, same. Yeah,
Okay.
we're just chilling out, preparing for the next day, I suppose.
Okay. In the village or in the keep?
Probably in the stables there in the village, right? Like where Arwen
Yes.
is.
Yeah, that's where
Yeah,
I
so
was.
probably in the village. Try and keep somewhat close to each other.
Okay.
Yeah, just milling about, maybe learning a little bit more of sort of giant culture, so that I can speak for these people a little bit better. Should it come to that? Um, yeah, that's generally it.
Cool. All right. Um, the evening passes relatively uneventfully. A few giant, Northie kind of stays with you the whole time just to kind of watch over you, make sure you're all right, to host you, and things like that. Also hanging out with Doffrey, and things. But yeah, they between them they make sure food is provided and things like that. I'm guessing Arwen's plan is to sleep in the stables.
Hell yeah. If there's an owl bear, I'm there.
Okay. Yeah, the other two, it's up to you where you'd like to. Obviously, say you can arrange somewhere to sleep in
Just
the village if you want, or you can, again, welcome to sleep in the keep.
just under the stars with my boy Elvis.
Okay. Yeah, there's like a little pool, off to like sort of one side of the village where there's a few trees and things like that. It's probably where you came out, um, and things where these trees are. Be too small for any giants certainly to like traverse through the way you did, but just about big enough for you to do so. And the pool probably like fills from like underneath somewhere with like within the mountain. Maybe there's some magic involved, but it kind of like spills over and like trickles off the edge of the village. It's probably quite a peaceful spot for Stix to spend his time.
Yeah, that is where you'll find me.
Um, yeah. Maybe towards the sort of later evening after you've eaten, things like that. And the moon is low in the sky, just rising. And the sky is not quite yet taken on the inky blackness of night. You spot kind of, two figures approaching through the air. Um, Several people seem to be gathering and moving towards where it looks like they're going to land. Um, and as they do, you recognise the chief is amongst them, as well as Montbrasser, the fightery looking individual who you encountered on your first visit. They both look all right, but you can see there seems to be they're both armored as well. You've seen a couple of other giants sort of in armor, but it's sort of the casual armor, not the fully like outfitted
Yeah,
attire you'd expect. Whereas these are, um, you know, more armored than anyone else. The chief has, quite an elaborately like ornate helm. Again, there's like engravings and sort of etchings of clouds in the metal that seem to move, like across, almost like wind is like blowing them across, like from the front to the back of the helm. And it's got this again, like similar to sort of like a centurion's plume on their helm, but it almost seems to be like a wispy cloud, and when he turns his head, it kind of like breaks and distorts before it reforms.
He's got a smoke machine on his head.
Yeah, basically. Very cloud-based, these cloud giants. But yeah, but I mean, the main thing is they look okay. Neither of them seems to be sort of like wounded or limping, but you can see that in several places upon their armor, they seem to have sort of large, like somewhat circular soot stains.
Why? What have they been doing? Trying to set fire to people?
Yeah, I mean, as if they were hit with some sort of like fire-based thing repeatedly. But they kind of arrive. They're greeted by people, by several other giants and things like that. Before they, kind of like someone comes over and kind of like takes the chief's helm and kind of runs off up the steps with it to kind of take it up to the keep and things as he has various discussions with people. You see someone goes up to him and begins to like start undoing the straps of his armor and help him take it off and things like that. They you see Northia like goes over to him and you kind of overhear him say, he tells the chief that you guys have you don't really, again, a lot of this in Giantish, so you don't understand the words until you hear Northie say your various names. And you gather he's talking about you, and the chief looks over and sees you all, kind of nods in your direction. Carries on. Yeah, in short order, Northie makes his way kind of back over to you, says, I told him what you told me and what we figured out about a meeting. He'll want to ask you some questions, but that'll be in the morning.
Cool.
Sounds good. We have some questions for him too. So that's good. Speak to him.
Unless there's anything else anyone would like to do. Any questions anyone would like to ask of anyone, or any arguing between yourselves you'd like to do, we can fast forward to that next meeting in the morning.
I would like to do an hour role play where I get a dog and pretend it's an owlbear.
So you'd like to do roleplay with an actual dog and pretend it's an owlbear?
Yes.
You are going to have to source this dog yourself.
Damn it.
I'm afraid I can't provide real dog. I can provide fictional dog, which I am doing in the form of owlbear.
Damn it. So close.
One thing, though, he is, however, not saying no to you getting a dog.
I'm not saying no.
So as long as you provided the dog.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I don't need to do anything.
Yeah, no.
Just putting it out there just before we move on. But yeah, you spend a night in your various chosen locations. It is comfortable and safe.
On an owlbear.
You have nothing to worry about. Yeah, on an owlbear. In Arwen's case. And yeah. So, but yeah, you are. Someone made sure that you guys have breakfast and things like that, just to make sure you're not hungry or anything. It's not Northie this time, but he, a giant is sent to make sure that you're okay and just like have stuff. Like food is like brought to you, and like whereas when Northie's been looking after you, he's used his magic to make sure everything is appropriately sized. This giant either doesn't have that capability or just doesn't care and just brings you everything in giant size.
Nice.
Giant bacon.
Yeah.
I run to wherever they are. I can smell it in the air.
Arwen has giant bacon for breakfast.
Hell yeah.
Get up those steps is going to be an issue.
Giant bacon, so just a pork chop.
Yeah, but it's probably made from one of those like giant boar that lives in the mountains.
No, don't tell me that. That one was my friend.
Well, not that one.
Oh,
bad one.
Oh, good. Okay.
One
That's
that beat up children.
A bad one.
That's a good one.
Okay, one that beat up old people.
Okay.
One that folded the corners of his books.
Oh.
Happy now?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got turned into
Did he
bacon.
stand on a flower as well?
Yeah, he did.
That's bad.
Yeah,
Bad ball behaviour.
yeah. He was also sexist.
Oh no, put him in the bin. Yeah, bad ball.
Okay. So Owen has giant bacon for breakfast.
Good.
Okay. And then fast forward 2, 3, what were we thinking? 4 hours for Owen's bacon breakfast?
Half an hour. Slam it in.
Oh, okay. Owen has indigestion and a belt that won't do up.
That's fine.
Yeah. Yes. So shortly after you wake up in the morning, you meet with, well, yeah, Northy comes and helps and escorts all of you to the chief as he would like to question you.
Question? Sounds like we're in trouble.
Yeah, you are. You're all bad people. So naughty. So misbehaved. Or is that just Arwen?
That's just Arwen.
Yeah. So escorts you to the familiar meeting room. He greets you all and says, "Welcome. I gather from Northy you have made rapid progress. He tells me that there is a meeting place where several of your council will attend, and we might speak with them."
Yeah, so there is a valley, a place in a valley, I'm sure Northy has told you about, where you can send an emissary and they will, and you can outline sort of what you've got to say for them. The council will then prepare themselves for this meeting. And in 10 days, well, I guess now 9 days, our council, the full council, is having one big meeting. That they believe that would be the best time for you to meet with them, speak with them, make your case as to why you should be on the council. As per our agreement, this is not an invitation onto the council. This is basically an interview. Yeah, an interview for you to, make your claim for the seat at the table. You so eloquently put it. We've done all we can. Please understand they're very hesitant. Obviously, right now, lots of bad stuff's going on. There are giants on Valsam's side. There are all sorts of things going on. The local dwarven population are very hesitant. So please be careful with them. But what I would say is just be yourselves, be courteous and calm, and I do not think we'll have many problems. I believe some of the issues raised by them were things like, what kind of land would you? Because obviously, all the different kingdoms and stuff have land. What land would you want from these mountains? Where exactly are your borders? Those can be negotiated and discussed, and how that sort of would work out. I think they're very naive on giant culture, so maybe some insights into giant cultures to, the sort of more civilized side of you giants. I think that'd be very, very good. And also, just proof that you're the wise chieftain we know you are, and why Kavran would be much better with you in the council. Boom.
You've given me much to think on. Northy, I trust you to see to this. Take my son, and
Oh, he's not going, is he?
you have a problem with my son?
I mean, he's not the most hospitable.
Also,
He's not
it
gonna make the
seemed he
best
had
impression.
some. Was it the son that had sort of quarrels with how he was doing things?
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
He
did
started
say.
a fight with me.
Yeah. Novi kind of interjects because yesterday they met Brushi, my lord. Yes. Ah, my apologies. Yes, I met my other son.
Oh, sorry. Didn't know you had two.
Brushi is my youngest.
Soz.
Nofi, take Thran with you. He needs to learn about these things. Go and meet these individuals. See what they have to say and see what requests they would make of us. Make no promises yet. But make no promises yet. But what you have to ensure that we can attend this meeting without quarrel.
That would be very wise.
Nothing bows and says, very well, I shall inform Thran and we shall depart within the hour. Kind of bows and makes his way out. The king kind of relaxes again and like rolls his shoulders and kind of like stretches a little and looks over his mechanical arm at one point, and you can see him kind of like there's still a little like soot mark, and he kind of buffs that off. He says, I will be honest, I did not expect you to be able to achieve anything that you promised. Like, I do not mean to offend you. I'm sure you were earnest in your promise in what you believe, but if you allow me to be somewhat disparaging of you small folk as a collective, I did not think there would be those among you who would be open to such an idea. You have exceeded my expectations in a fraction of the time I expected it.
There are a lot of good people down here, but it's just the ones in power that are normally dickheads.
Yeah, pretty much what she said. It's tough, and the systems that are in place are not perfect. But what is really?
I'm sure I will find out all these flaws in time. Without as in May. It looks like I owe you some information.
Yes.
Well, I went with Mobrixia yesterday to check over the location to see whether the situation there had changed, which it has not. It is still dangerous and well defended. As I'm sure you saw by our return.
Well defended by what, might I ask?
That is an excellent question. We used to enter the area somewhat freely. While we encountered devices of the arcane, a lot of it seemed to be wreckage or scraps beyond any sort of salvageable use. Occasionally there would be some form of active device either deliberately left as a trap or just unstable due to age.
Me too.
Whereas now there seems there's an entrance that we used to be able to use, but during it wasn't that personally, but I'm led to understand that during some exploration, some form of defense was triggered that caused some form of shutdown or lockdown or defense protocol. This means that approaching the area triggers some sort of arcane defense, kind of arcane turret.
Pow, pow, pow.
Interesting.
And we have not yet been able to. Well, no one has persisted long enough to attempt to overcome these defenses. We decided it was no longer worth the risk, as there was very little to be gained anyway, and it was more a site of archaeological interest to us.
I'm very persistent.
I'm sure you are tenacious. I would just feel remiss if I did not properly warn you of the dangers. You have done a lot for us, it seems. And if I am to understand the situation correctly, I feel like we are to rely upon you again before this situation comes to a favorable resolution. It would not do for you to be blasted to smithereens.
Yeah, valid.
Yeah, that probably would be good.
Not to mention, you seem to have a remarkable knack of worming your way into people's affections.
Woohoo! Thanks. I am very charismatic. I say with my 1 charisma.
That's plus 1 charisma, not 1 charisma. That's more charismatic than the average person.
Hell yeah. Is that my lowest stat? I think it might be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't describe your stats though.
I know.
I think Klari is the lowest charisma overall.
Yeah, you got
She's
mine.
just an introvert. She likes her books.
Nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. She's not mean. She just
Yeah.
doesn't want people to talk to her. That's me too.
And that's Aaron speaking.
That is Abby speaking.
Yeah. So, what he does is he reaches over to his desk and he unrolls a different map. And this is a much closer view of this section of the mountains. And he highlights to you, the location where you are, the location you need to go to, and the best path through the mountains in order to do that. Says, yes, obviously if you can fly like we can, then you can avoid a lot of these dangers.
Wind.
Wind!
Yeah, oh yeah, did you roll for your recovered charges again?
Oh, no, I haven't. Let me do that. So I've got 3 charges. I get, I think it's 2d6 plus something.
Yeah, you should have a chance of recovering all of them, so it's probably something like 2d6 plus 3 or something like that. So it should have.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's 2d6 plus 3. I will double check, but So 2d6. Wait, that was 1d6. So that's 8 plus 3 is 11. And I have 3, so I got 14 charges back.
You didn't
Well, I got
use your
14.
second wind, though, yesterday. You only used one, so you should be full.
Oh, right, yeah. I forgot. Yeah, I think I took the charges off before we actually then went, oh, actually, we'll tree. Oh, well. Full! Sweet.
Okay. Yeah. So, but yeah, so he highlights, you know, where you are, where you need to go, tells you if you're going along the ground or if you're returning along the ground, the best route to take and avoid for various reasons. And yeah. So you now know where the laboratory is.
Let's go, team.
You can make your way there.
Hell yeah, it's the morning.
Indeed.
Isn't it? So
Yeah, it's morning.
nice. We got the whole day.
Hell yeah. So I windwalk us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 charges down. Let's ride, people.
Okay. Yeah.
And as we all go away, we're like, oh, thank God. I hope there's no people at this fucking forge. So done.
Yeah, weird mechanical things, fine. People, no.
Metal punching bags.
Yeah. Also, because I think we all forgot about him, you do have Strigan with you.
Oh God, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
He's been a silent participant.
Yeah. I think he let's just say he finds giants very intimidating being a
Very small.
halfling or a gnome. I can't remember what it is. A gnome, I think.
I think he's a gnome because he,
You know, so he's like,
you know, right.
yeah.
Striggle gnome professor at the university. Well, he's not anymore, but
He resigned.
he GTF.
I believe he is a gnome. I've always imagined him with a really sort of big nose and wispy little grey bits and like generic gnome stuff.
Cockatrice.
Yeah. Interesting, the new monster manual doesn't give a physical height for the giants. That's the old one. Not there. Not even there.
My miniature table is getting lower and lower.
Sorry, would you like some books back to make up your table again?
No, it's I just don't want the new dungeon master gun.
Yeah, because this one's got a nice diagram. It tells you how tall everything. Yeah, so Cloud Giant, according to this, is 24 feet tall.
Ah!
Which is 4 times the height of a tall person.
12.
So it's probably like something like 8 times the height of Stringham.
So it's so it's 4 U's on top of each other.
Yeah, not quite.
Yeah, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 U's and a me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Can you just like jump? How tall's the house?
So a house, like the average room in a house is about 8 feet. So you've got 16 feet for a 2-story house, plus maybe a foot of floor in between. So you're looking at like 17, 18 feet for 2 stories. So
What about the roof?
roof like 30 feet maybe for the roof.
Okay, so
like
it's
total?
about the size of a house.
As a rough guess.
Just a little bit lower than a house.
Well, 30 feet is 10 meters.
And 24 feet is 8 meters. So
Yeah.
approximately.
Oh, are you doing it in meters?
No, in feet, but.
Oh, wait, what? 30? Wait.
So I'm estimating a house to be about 30 feet.
Yeah. And you said giant is 30 feet. It's 24 feet.
24 feet.
So it's just a bit lower than a house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Interesting.
you put a giant on the ground floor, their head would probably stick in the loft.
Yeah.
Or a cloud giant, it is.
That's cool. I just wanted
Storm
kind of
giants
like
are bigger, and all the other giants are a bit smaller.
a general size.
Yeah.
That I can imagine.
Yeah, so they are big.
Yes.
You know, like could step on you big.
So the owl bears are like guinea pigs to them, or
So-
like
No, the owlbears are like
chihuahuas.
fully grown. The owlbear is like 8 feet to the shoulder.
Oh. So yeah, like a medium-sized dog.
Yeah,
Oh, adorable.
yeah, they're not gonna be like riding them into battle or anything
No,
like that.
no.
But you could.
Fuck yeah, I could.
You could turn into that. You can't turn anything like that. No. Stupid rules.
Rules are made to be broken.
Yeah, because then you could turn into one and let Klari ride you into battle. Let Hugo ride you into battle.
I mean, I can be a bear, so
Yeah.
people can.
You can be a
Klari's got
bear
the vision of an owl,
stick a
so
beak to you.
Combining me and Klari, we are an owl bear.
yeah. And if it's night, Klari can fly.
This is amazing.
So, but then you would be a bat bear. But then, Klari could, if you needed to get up a wall,
Spider
you could
bat
get on
bear.
Klari's back, and you'd be a spider bear.
Spider bat bear.
Spider bat.
Spider bat bear.
Spider bat.
Doesn't have quite the
Spider bat bear. Spider bat bear.
quite the ring to it that I think the next Marvel superhero
Does whatever a spider bat bear does. Cool.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad we've sorted that out.
It was very important.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember how we got here, but are we off? Are we winding?
Yes, you are winding your way across the land.
Winding away downtown.
How have we never done that before? That's my new favourite thing.
Can I take away inspiration forever?
No.
Okay.
Winning away downtown, walking fast, faces pass our homebound. I'm a forge bound.
I love it when we can make you do that. That gives me inspiration. Like just in my
We're
soul.
making our way through the clouds.
This is how I feel when I tell a really shitty joke. And you do this face.
Yes.
You understand?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This feels great.
Oh yeah. Oh, one of the other things. One of the landmarks you were told to look out for was a large pool and with a waterfall.
How far away did he say it was?
Close enough that you can. I mean, certainly in wind form that you can get there in less than a day because he managed to get there and back. He left after you did and flew
but
there
he's
and back.
given us like directions.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, so I mean, in wind form, it'll probably take you probably less than 2 hours to get there because you're
Okay, cool.
so much faster in wind form. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Just double check.
It's like
300 feet per round, and all we can do
it's
is
10 times
dash.
normal travel speed.
mm.
So let me just double check it's flying speed.
It's in my head. I'm so sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, cloud giants actually fly very. They fly at 20 feet, so they fly quite slowly.
Oh.
But it's
Like
like
a
an
cloud.
innate ability. Yeah. So Northie has magic, so he flies faster, but like just innate ability. So it's quite. Yeah, so you guys probably get there in less than an hour.
Cool.
In this location, you imagine it probably would have taken you like a day or so on foot.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what you encountered along the way. But yeah, like just speeding like over mountains and stuff, because the mountains, in the valleys, it's all wiggly.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can get there very quickly.
Nice.
Very nice.
But yeah, it's relatively sort of like easier to spot. After maybe sort of like 20-30 minutes of your journey, you quickly find a river, and just knowing you're looking for like a waterfall and a large pool, you follow that, and it very rapidly leads you to where you think you need to be. And from above, you can see that there's this like small ring of like lower peaks that forms sort of a crescent. Maybe sort of like three sides. We can say three sides of a circle, which does not work. 3/4 of a circle.
Ah.
Circle only has one side.
Actually, circles have thousands of tiny sides. If you want to get mathematical. But continue.
Okay.
Technically.
I mean, technically, a true circle has one. But any drawn circle, like any circle created due to,
it's one of them things you read when you're like 17 and you're convinced it's true forever. I thought I read in some sciencey journal they left in science class that circles technically.
I mean, I think it
infinitesimal.
can be argued both ways depending on how deep you want to go into the mathematics of it.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I don't want to go deep at all. I'm bad at maths.
1 + 1.
2.
2 + 2.
4. 4.
4 + 4.
8.
8 + 8. Okay, we've resorted to the fingers, so I'm moving on. I'll teach you maths one day.
No, thank you.
Yes, but yeah, so you guys are hovering in the air above this location. There is this, like, it's almost like there's like a shelf in the land. So the river like comes along, drops down maybe like 20 feet through a gap in this crescent ring of low peaks into this pool. It's like a large pond, and then it like flows out through the gap in the crescent and beyond.
To the crescent and beyond.
To the crescent and beyond. Right. Okay. And we can see that, or we're looking out for it.
You're like, imagine this is the end of the cutscene, and you're in the video game now. Your position is hovering above this location in wind form.
Okay.
Dive, dive, dive.
I press circle to go down.
Okay.
Fly downwards. So obviously circle is the crouch button, so except for in Assassin's Creed Shadows, where it's fucking square for some reason.
What? Why would they make it square? That's the wrong button.
And the worst part is, literally nothing ever tells you that. I'm 4 hours in. At no point has the game told me square was crouch. I had to look that shit up. Whatever.
Jesus.
Square, circle, I go
a
down.
lot of the buttons up for grounded mode when I replayed The Last of Us. But that's because it's grounded mode and you've got absolutely no HUD.
Yeah.
I've just forgotten the buttons, having not played it for so long. And also, certain things like listen mode don't work in grounded. So I'm like, this button should be making me hear the things, but yeah, it doesn't work in grounded.
Yeah. I died to that because I couldn't remember what button it is to take arrows out of your chest.
Yes, I died to that as well.
I was spamming every button and it didn't work.
The thing, I like pressed every button and like mashed at some buttons thinking it was like a tap thing, not a hold thing.
Every time we loaded up Jedi Fallen Order for me to play, I had to have my phone in front of me with a photo of all the buttons, so I wouldn't forget them.
Yeah. Next time I'm just going to label your fingers.
It's still not going to work, because I'll still have to look down.
Can I tell you what happened when I played Fallen Order? I accidentally loaded up the game, because like the game difficulties are based on the different Jedi sort of things.
Yeah.
And so I thought Jedi Knight would be like medium. But no, Jedi Knight isn't medium. Jedi Knight is hard, then Jedi Master is like very hard, and then there was one above that, which is like super duper fucking
like
crazy.
Grandmaster.
Yeah. So I played the entire game in hard mode, and I was like, "This game is so hard. How does anyone complete this? Or am I just really bad at video games? What the fuck?" And I only realized when I completed the game, and I went to do like new game just to check, and I realized, yeah. So I had to do all the fights in fucking hard mode. First time I've ever tried playing it, and it was. I really hated the game until I realized, oh no,
I
I
think
played
the
it in
thing
hard
is,
mode.
like, there's one point in the difficulty thresholds where the parry timing goes from like it like tells you what like the parry timing is and like the damage, like it gives you a bar, so it's like relevant to the other tiers. And for like the lowest 3 levels, it's like half the bar is like what it tells you the parry timing window is. And then for the others, it's like a tiny. It suddenly jumps
Yeah,
to like a
yeah.
tiny
It
fraction of
was
the bar. It's not
tiny.
like progressively throughout the levels. It's like, oh, lowest is like a full bar of so parry timing is really big, and then a bit less and a bit less and a bit. It's like no, the same, the same, the same, tiny, tiny, tiny.
Yeah, it sucked. It sucked so hard. And I
I
really,
had a
really
great
hated
time.
it.
You
Yeah,
enjoy
I really,
except
really
when you
hated
have to fight the second sister at the end.
Yeah, that made me irate. Is that the word?
Rage?
I don't know. I was on the floor.
Yeah. It's very funny. I can tell that whenever we play video games, Abby will start like, sat. We'll get to the D&D in a bit, but sat on the sofa, relatively 90 degrees as you do on a sofa, and then as she gets more and more frustrated, she just slowly becomes more and more horizontal on the sofa.
Like my back will be on the sofa and my bum will not. So I'm just like this.
She's
And I'm just
basically doing a
I go the
bridge
other way.
off the sofa.
yeah.
I go
I've,
the
I've
other way.
got,
I start to
I've
like
got,
lock in. I start to like lean forward.
yeah,
Well, yeah, that's locking in. I just get frustrated,
yeah.
so I sink.
I can always tell when it's time to just like take a break and like me take over or do something together whenever it becomes too horizontal.
Yeah. Strategic snack breaks.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just going to the kitchen. You don't have to want a cup of tea, do you?
Yes, it is.
I'm just getting myself something, but while I'm there. But yeah, so you are descending in. If you keep going, if you go straight down, you will land in the pool from
Hell
your
yeah.
position. Um,
Diving.
Well, it's like the
I'd
kids
like
say,
to do
dive,
a
dive,
forward
dive.
somersault.
sorry, what was that?
I would like to do a forward somersault into the water.
Okay, yes.
Sploosh.
Who's going first?
Stix.
Oh, I'm. Thank you for nominating me.
You're welcome.
Yeah, fine. Fuck it. I'll go first. I'll get shot by this cannon or whatever the fuck it is.
But we're wind. It's less likely to shoot us.
We do have resistance to all damage. That's not magical.
Sick.
Quick question. Would wind trigger?
No, because then it would like constantly be out of stuff.
Yeah, but you're not like wind. You're
Yeah,
like
I know, but
an elemental form, basically. Is how we've established you look when you travel. So you have a
but it's not
substance.
corporeal.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
put
like,
it this way: would it target an air elemental?
yeah, probably. It probably would. Yeah.
Yeah, then it probably targets us.
Okay.
Well,
So yeah, you descend. You get to maybe probably about like 8, 10 feet over the water. And then you suddenly hear like a whirring sound, and 2 blasts of energy seem to come from like your left and right, like in from the rock itself.
we'll do a.
Or one of those is a natural 20, and the other one is an 8, so it's probably gonna miss. What's your AC at the moment, Stix?
My AC at the moment, I guess, as wind, I don't have my shield out, so it's 21.
Only 21. Okay. So too many dice for the right ones. Right. So with a crit on a natural 20, that is going to be 19 points of force damage.
nothing. Absolutely nothing, mate. Oh, I forgot to press the long rest button the last time.
Which, with your resistance as wind, would be halved to 9.
Indeed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage.
Question.
Yes.
If I cast invisibility
Yeah.
and I wind myself,
Again.
that's not casting a spell, is it?
No.
So I won't lose invisibility.
Correct.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's like if you have a spell like Call Lightning going, you don't cast Call Lightning over and over and over again.
Yeah, you just
have it, and then you can activate it multiple times.
And like Hunter's Mark and stuff.
Yes, exactly like that. You
Okay.
can like move it onto a new target without it counting as casting a spell again.
And we said we can't talk as wind, can we?
No.
Okay. What I'm thinking is we land somewhere. I make everyone invisible. We do like a 3, 2, 1, go. Become wind again. And go for the entrance. And then once we're in, we uninvisible ourselves so that we can see each other and we know where everyone is.
So you're saying we uninvisible somewhere, invisible, wind, fly in, unwind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think if we're invisible, we won't get hit by the things.
Yes. I would like to propose that. Oh no. Is there any way? Yes! Klari, your big small chest. Can we put Striggum in it? And then carry that? Because my issue is going to be that Striggum is going to get lost.
Yeah, he probably will.
He's definitely going to get lost.
We need a papoose.
And I was in the big small chest, and I'm hoping we won't be in there for too long.
No, I think we'll just dive in, get in, come out, and everything will be fine.
Yeah. Because what was it I determined, JJ, about the big small chest? Because I went in there for a little while, didn't I? Or at least I went in there once. And it was just that you can just be in there, you get bigger when you get out.
Yeah, so anything you put in when the chest is shrunk is affected by the magic of the chest. When it's removed, it returns. So if you were to like open it while tiny and then take something out that is tiny, it would then automatically return to its ordinary size in your hand.
Okay.
But you wouldn't be able to put it back in because it would be too big to go in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But other than that, whether or not we established if you can breathe.
I mean, you didn't say anything when we previously did. You know, when Stix.
I can't remember whether or not we discussed breathing because extra dimensional sort of things like that, like a bag of holding doesn't. You can't breathe in and things like that. It's slightly different because it's bigger and smaller rather than an extra dimensional space.
Like there is still a maximum capacity.
Yeah.
Of just a chest, but you're making it smaller to be able to carry with you. But I don't think I asked about whether I could breathe because I just assumed if that was the kind of thing you would have brought it up. But
I can't remember whether we did or not.
Still alive, so
yeah, but he wasn't in there for very long.
Yes, I literally went in, became small, immediately went out again.
I'm inclined to say yes.
As long as you're not in there for more than 24 hours.
As long as you're not in there too long.
I mean, we're literally it's probably gonna take at least like just a couple of minutes. Probably 30 minutes.
Yeah, I'd say like yes, you can probably breathe, but it's probably like similar to because it's well built, so it's got quite a good seal on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not airtight, but it has a
Yeah.
like. After a while, it's gonna
He's gonna
feel.
get lightheaded.
It's yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
He's not gonna be in there long. Once we're in, he can come out.
Yes. Yes.
So it's not. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Right, we go and land somewhere.
Yeah.
Cool. We just fly off. Yeah, a little ways away. Spend the minute to unwind.
Yeah. Someone just make a persuasion check, or two someones make a persuasion check just to persuade three of them to get in the chest.
As we're doing this, I just pat whoever's helping me on the shoulder and give them guidance. But I make a persuasion check with my +11 persuasion. That's a 30.
30. Yeah. He is totally sold, completely convinced by this plan and the necessity of it. He happily gets in the chest.
Boom.
Just one person for invisibility.
No, if you upcast it, you can get more people.
Yeah, but for the base one.
Yeah, the base is 1.
Okay.
So 2 is 1, 3 is 2, 4 is 3, and you have 5 of you. No, 4 of you, because Strigum's in the chest.
Yeah.
So you need to do it at 5th level.
Yes.
And invisibility is an hour?
Yes,
Right.
regular invisibility is an hour. Greater invisibility is 10 minutes. I believe.
You right?
Yeah, it's annoying. I have a once per day invisibility, but that'll be base.
Yeah, that's base.
And I can't cast it and cast it on everyone else because that'll be 2 separate spells, so it just won't do it for me. Ugh, annoying. Oh well.
She's
But you can
learning.
later on for one person.
Yeah.
If you want to send someone ahead for something, or
We are all invisible now.
okay.
Be wind.
You cast invisibility on yourselves, and you turn back into wind. There's not a noticeable change because you're all invisible. But when you are all wind, you gather that all your companions will also be wind, and so you make your way rapidly back towards the thing. As you approach, nothing seems to happen. As you fly over, sort of, I imagine you're flying low to the ground. You do see in various places there do seem to be like small piles of rusted scrap in several locations. But they don't seem to be doing anything or influencing you in any way as you fly past. And yeah, you get back to the pool with the waterfall. Doesn't seem to trigger anything.
Perfect. Is there an obvious entrance?
There is not.
I want to go through the waterfall. That seems like a secret.
Okay. You go through the waterfall. You are still wind, it's just it's not no, I was just thinking like if you were invisible you'd like visibly like disturb the flow of the waterfall, but you're kind of wind, so while there is a little bit of disturbance, it's more like a few bubbles rather than a full like silhouette. So that's fine. Yeah, you go through the waterfall, and there is a rocky face on the underside, far side, opposite side, behind. That's the word I'm looking behind. That looks sort of rough and natural. But there is a kind of a large, flattish area. Also, the area like seems to extend off on either side of the waterfall and around the pool, looking somewhat like a footpath.
Oh, okay. Can I like press everything?
Not as wind.
Okay. I will unwind.
Okay.
And press everything.
Yeah.
With my human hands.
With your human hands. Okay. You unwind. Make an investigation check for me.
Fucking plot twist, guys. Arwen's been a human this whole time.
Yeah.
13. Okay. So you unwind, you've been moving around, pushing on like rocks, pulling on bits of moss, things like that. And you hear a like distinctive whirring noise. That is two fours. And similar to what you heard, and there's a flash of blue, and you like throw yourself to the side. So like on the ground, like having dodged out of the way, and two like glowing bits of like rock are sort of like blasted away, and you can see like soot marks on them, which you now recognise as the same soot marks that were on the chief and his companion.
Okay.
Yeah, with a 13, you don't find anything.
So it can still see us this side then?
It looks like it, yeah.
I am going to risk it for a biscuit.
Okay.
And cast... Where is detect magic? Detect magic. I think I could do that once per day, you know?
I think you can do that indefinitely from your rod. I think your rod allows you to do that just at will now.
Really? I
think so. You've got the rod of alertness, right?
Yeah.
Alertness. While holding rod, you can use
No, I
action
have
to cast
Staff of Perception.
one of yeah, it's the rod of alertness.
Oh, so
It's the same thing. Staff of Perception item, rod of alertness.
Oh, so
That's all right. So yeah, while holding rod, you can actually cast one of the following spells. It doesn't have any like limit or charge or like once per day thing, so you can just cast magic at will.
jeez. Oh, yeah. Sick.
It's a concentration spell, though.
That's fine. Oh, but I'm not concentrating on
Invisibility.
invisibility.
Invisibility is also a concentration spell.
Ah, shit.
Oh wait, that staff, you have to attune to it to like be able to use it, right?
Yeah. What if I just do Dispel Magic instead? I'm just going to do Dispel Magic. Do I have to...
Right, choose an object or creature or magic effect within range. Within, you don't even have to be able to see it.
No.
Damn, okay. Yeah.
I guess you can do that on invisible people, maybe. If you know where they are.
That is a great debate about whether or not Dispel Magic works on invisible creatures. Just gonna double check the wording of Dispel Magic, because yeah, it's a great debate because the description doesn't say anything. I think it's been confirmed by Jeremy Crawford that you can't use it on invisible creatures to make them uninvisible, but does seem to imply you can use it on something you can't see.
Well, I'll use it on the door.
The door.
The wall.
Okay. You cast Dispel Magic.
Whee!
Nothing happens.
Oh, fuck. Are you sure?
I am sure.
Have you read your notes correctly?
Yep.
I don't trust... Can I see your notes a second? I don't trust you.
Yeah, if you want. They look like this.
Okay, that's not many notes. That's just the amount of days. It's 170 days. 170 days since what?
It's 170 sessions.
Oh, 170 sessions, right?
Yeah. No, all my notes are digital. So.
Okay, so Dispel Magic didn't work. I'm gonna unwin.
yeah, if you're casting Dispel Magic, then these things are going to get another shot at you. What's your AC, Arwen?
Mm-mm.
18. Yeah, they still don't hit you.
Oh, nice. Okay,
But 2 more shots, like, crash into the walls beside you.
I rub my face on literally everything.
Can I also? So the shots, they're coming from behind the waterfall, right?
Yeah, so if all of you have gone through, you're all on the other side of the waterfall.
Yeah.
And somewhere on the outside, around the pool somewhere, these 2 charge shots seem to be coming from.
Does anyone
Okay.
have like a trap disarmer from like some sort of kit thing?
I mean, Claire's got thieves' tools. I assume that's something similar.
I know about. I have like hunting traps and stuff
Mm-hmm.
from way back when I was a ranger. Would I be able to look at the mechanism to disarm this thing?
Like,
The thing that's launching shit at us.
potentially, if you can find it, yeah.
Okay, I can't invisible myself. Fuck. Okay, I'm going to run along this walkway thing
Okay.
to see where the orbs come from.
Okay. You run out. They both get a shot at you.
But I'm like aware, so can I try and dodge or something?
You can take the dodge action and give a disadvantage.
Yes, I'd like to do that.
Okay, so the first one's going to miss. Second one is an 18 and a 19 on the dice, so that's going to hit. That's not.
At least I tried.
Pardon?
At least I tried.
Yeah, it's not. So 11 force damage.
That's fine. But do I know where it comes from now?
Make a perception check.
Oops.
That's
19.
Yeah, what's it? 19. Yeah, you managed to spot from which way do you run, left or right?
That way. So if I'm looking at the waterfall, right. Or if I'm looking at the door that isn't a door, left.
Okay. Yeah. So on the opposite side, generally, you spot a a section, like you spot where this blue light is coming from because you're paying attention to it, and that's how you know to be able to dodge out of the way. But you like spot a section, and then like after this shot, like you've dodged out of the way, you like pause in place to look up, but you don't see anything. There's no like obvious signs of any like turrets or anything like that.
Was it not where the stuff on the floor was? The metal?
The little like piles of metal that you.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't seem to be coming from them. It seems to be like in the walls of the crescent.
Oh.
Like it came from. Here, let me draw you a terrible map just to give you guys a sense of the environment. So you have. Let's make circle tool. There it is. So you've got a pool of water. You've got the waterfall like coming down,
Lovely.
and then there's like a kind of walkway of stone like around it, and then underneath there's like a little like cutout of like
the...
And you spotted the flash of blue light from actually from somewhere on this side.
Can I...
So you imagine it would like see through there.
Can I shout to the others
Mm-hmm.
to... I'll point to where I think it is and say, could you have a look at the turret thing while I try and work out where the door is.
So we'll put you. So you
Yeah.
kind of ran out, went there, dodged the blast, and then stopped moving. To like.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what I could do. Is I could uninvisible myself and almost like, I don't know, I guess sort of keep it firing at me.
Well, I don't mind keeping it firing, but... Or yeah, you could keep it firing. Klari could have a look at and see if she can...
Yeah.
Fuck it up.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna... So if we get you, obviously me and you both winded and invisible, we get you closer to it, and then I stood right in front of it. I'm going to uninvisible myself and just take the dodge action in front of it and try and just be the main target, but also be wisping around.
Okay. So Stix are invisible, but still as wind, and you go out to try and draw fire.
Yeah, I'm trying to draw fire while Klari
to...
looks at it and tries to maybe disarm it.
Okay, so you unwind and burst out. It's going to take 2 shots. Oh, that's one of those is good. First one, oh no, that's disadvantage. First one miss, and the second one's going to miss. So these 2 shots, like through the air, sort of Stix flies through the middle. Klari, you can make a perception check with advantage, as you're not getting shot at or trying to dodge or anything like that. You're just looking, and Stix is trying to draw the fire.
Dangerous game, giving Klari advantage. Perception check.
Oh,
34.
34, yeah. So you can pinpoint the exact spot on both sides where this shot came from. And it's, Stix didn't fly like perfectly down the middle, so having flown sort of like off to one side, the side he was closer to triggered first. And what you saw was a small patch of the mountainside, maybe sort of like 18 inches, 2 feet in diameter, like ripples, as though it's like a mirage. And then this arcane bolt comes through that ripple. And the same thing happened on both sides. And with a 34, you can pinpoint the exact spot on both sides where it comes from.
Okay. Then do you want to go fly over there and see if you can take that down so we can just inspect freely?
Yeah.
No, because you're invisible.
Oh.
And wind.
Right.
So, yeah, I guess you can fly over, take a gander.
Yeah.
Yeah? Cool.
Yeah, you can fly up to one of them. You fly up to our side or the other side?
Our side.
Oh, side. Okay. Yeah, and you can fly up. You've got this like spot, kind of locked in your mind, so you know exactly where you need to go. It's about 12 feet, probably up in the air in the side of the wall here. Maybe 10 feet up. But yeah, you are like wind. There is you know where this spot is, but now that the shot has gone and it's no longer active, you can't see any sign of it. It's not rippling or anything anymore. It's just when the shot was fired that the illusion covering it ripped.
I'm obviously, yeah, I'm still wind. Can I like just be sort of still flying around attracting fire sort of thing, so she can sort of
So if
still
you want to
see.
continually try and do that, yeah. Like Klari
Yeah,
knows
yeah.
where it is. It's just Klari knows where it is. It's just
Right.
like it's not doing anything at the moment because you're not triggering it. But if you want to keep
Right.
doing that, that's up to you, and I'll take more shots.
Well, I'm
No.
gonna
It,
have
yeah,
a
I
look
feel like he knows where it is then.
over there. So is that gonna?
If you move,
If me and Stix move at the same time,
yeah,
will one go to one and one go to the other?
maybe.
I think we should try that.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's give it a go.
I'll
Alright.
do a dodge as well.
Okay. So, that's going to miss Arwen with a dodge, and the other one shoots at Stix and misses Stix.
Nice.
Sweet. Teamwork.
Yeah. So, Klari is hovering invisible by this illusion. Right, you can. Yeah. Again, the same thing happens. The illusion ripples. The arcane shot rips through it and flies out.
You sort of. Do you have like dispel magic or anything like that? Or could you, I don't know, like feel it and see if you can disarm it? Maybe. This is like an arcane shot coming from like an illusory bit of wall.
I think if you fly through the illusion, you'll be able
Oh,
to
yeah.
look at the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like poke your head into the illusion.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, Klari, you like poke your head of your wind form through this illusion. What you see is there is a small like alcove has been like recessed out, and inside is mounted basically like a small cannon, kind of like a puckle gun that used to be on like the side of a ship. It's maybe sort of 2 feet long, mounted on like a metal arm that allows it to like rotate around. And at the moment, it is just sitting, not doing anything. You can see that the metal arm it's on, it kind of looks like somewhat like a large like pipe, maybe again like 18 inches, 2 feet in diameter. The So it kind of sits on, and it can kind of rotate around like this, and then the arm, the way it sticks out, can do like up and down as well. So it can do like turn, and it can like turn in the horizontal axis and then angle itself in the vertical axis.
Okay. Okay. Basically, it's an arcane turret. Try and disarm it. I doubt it. Even if it does, we can just take a short rest. Well, 19 now, babe.
Yeah, can I try and disarm it?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So to do that, you'll have to unwind, which will take a minute. And this space is relatively small. So as you like unwind, just make an acrobatics check to position yourself in the right way so that you're not going to drop out of this hole when you become corporeal again. 21. Yeah, no issue. You managed to position yourself quite comfortably, in fact, where you can reach this turret. The two of you, well, yeah, Clary's still invisible, so you don't see anything just yet. What you might see as she unwinds is, if you were looking in that direction, you would see this section of the illusion ripples as it's being interfered with. So this small section of the mountainside kind of like waves, like the mountain is wobbly.
Weird.
Kind of like the paintings in Mario 64.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, to disarm this, it would be an Arcana check. with your. So it'd be an Arcana check with your Thieves' tool. So it'd be Dexterity plus your proficiency bonus if you're proficient in Arcana.
I believe you've got like expertise or some shit in Arcana, right?
I think I do.
Yeah, your Arcana's like plus 16, so yeah, I think you have expertise.
Yeah, I don't think she's failing that one.
But it would be with your Dexterity, so it would actually be plus 17.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, do it. I'm sorry, I was in that-
Dexterity Arcana. So basically roll Arcana and add 1. Or roll Dexterity and add 12. Yeah. That's at
31.
31.
31. Yeah, so you find, like, you manage to find the point, and there's a little gap where the horizontal rotational axis meets the vertical axis. As it's like slightly pointed down, or no, slightly pointed up because it was last shooting at Stix in the air. You can see there's a little gap underneath, which allows you to get the tip of your thieves' tools in, like underneath the plate of it, and to like manipulate inside and basically like sever some of the like arcane magic that keeps it running. And then like as you do so, you like feel it. You feel you sever that connection, and you quickly withdraw your tools, and it kind of just like sinks down and is like pointed towards the floor in this little cubby.
Woo! Teamwork, baby!
Now the other one.
And we level up. Nope.
Oh.
Yes, there is another one. Just do the same thing.
Yeah.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah, how you getting to the other side? It is you kind of because you're currently like half in a hole. You're still invisible, but your legs are kind of like sticking out a hole, and you're about 10 feet up.
I mean, I can spider climb.
Of course you can. Yes, you can spider climb. So you can just climb down, run round, climb up. Yeah, roll another Arcana check for me. $25 or 26. Yeah, same thing. Like this one, having fired at Arwen, is actually the last is still like pointed down. So instead of going underneath, you have to go over the top. But you manage to successfully do the same thing. As you sever the magic, it kind of and just flops. Yeah. But yeah, these are disabled now, so you can
Move
meet
freely.
up. Yeah, move freely as you wish.
Okay. I will now cast Detect Magic.
Detect magic?
Yeah.
You don't detect any magic.
Ah, for God's sake. Well,
You might have done, but
not anymore.
not anymore. It got
That's fine.
dispelled.
Good stuff. Oh,
Oh, wait. Did
I dispel something and not even know about it?
Maybe.
Would I know?
If you can't see it, I'm going with no.
Really?
I suppose
Not feel
technically
it in the air.
nothing happens?
I thought you
Feel it. What if I respell magic?
You respell magic.
Yeah.
Is that a spell you've got?
Sure.
Okay. What level is that?
Yes.
Level yes.
It's cantrip.
Is it?
The undo
Respell
button.
magic.
In the undo button.
Yeah.
Isn't there
All
some
it does
magic?
is, if you respell magic, all it does is just MAGIC, just appear in the air and dissipate.
I can spell.
And thus Arwen was forever changed.
Well, You know there's some kind of door here?
Well, I've rubbed every
Arwen rolled a
stone.
13 investigation check.
Can I do it again?
Yeah, the DC will be higher for you because you've already looked at this area and not found anything.
Can I do it with Hugo?
Can Hugo
Can
take
you
it?
do it?
Yeah, Hugo.
Can I do it? Because I'm still over there with Arwen, basically. So can I unwind? And
Yeah.
can I do it? And with Arwen's previous investigation, can she show me some bits that she's found and not found? And can I do it like with advantage?
Yeah.
She's like
Yes,
helping.
Hugo can help you, and you can do it with some fresh eyes.
Through the power of friendship.
Not the power of God and anime.
I do not
Shit.
have the power of God and anime.
Wait, no,
I'm
advantage.
afraid.
19. Yes. Ha ha ha.
Okay, with a 19, you are able to identify. When this is possibly what your dispel magic did at the time. Maybe it released something, but you probably didn't hear it because of the crashing of the waterfall. There is a very small gap now, like a seam, like the seam that would be between two large doors running down the middle.
Can I get my fingers in there?
You can try, yeah.
My spindly little fingers.
You want to try and pull it open?
Yeah.
Yeah, make a strength check.
That push.
Just straight
No, I'm
strength.
just trying to find it. Hey,
It's not budging for you.
I am hench. Someone push the door.
All right. No, couldn't click the other one. Right, yeah, I'll try and I'll give it a go. And I will. Is it just straight strength, yeah?
Just strength, yeah.
Pat my shoulders. Give myself some guidance. Kapow!
Oh my god. It's weaker than I am.
And in all Stix's effort, he lets off a skunk,
Oh no.
but not from his hands.
Thinks that's not a little toot. Is it just a toot?
It is just a toot. I would like to make that extremely clear. It is just a toot. Stix has not shat himself. I pride myself on that fact.
Okay.
Well done. So
Even on a 1, Stix maintains his composure.
Maintains his bowel constitution.
Oh, can Hugo push the door?
He can try.
Fucking.
Come on, my boy.
Maybe it's because he's got claws, so he can get them in a bit deeper into the gap because they're a bit longer and pointier, so he can get a better grip. And Hugo like tugs on this, and then he kind of like once he makes a little gap, he like gets his snout in there and uses it to like push while his little claws are pulling. But he manages to drag this, and it's actually like an elevator door, so it slides to the side.
Oh, see, that's where we were.
That's where we were both going wrong. We were both trying to push, and Hugo just like, eh.
But yeah, there is a great like grinding of like stone and metal as if the mechanism of this door no longer functions.
Oh no.
This DC was going to be lower until Arwen dispelled the magic on the door.
Well, I thought it would just magically open. Wait, non-magically open.
Yes. But the door begins to slide open. A chink of light slices through the room, and you can see what looks like piles and piles of bits of machinery, of rubble, stretching back into the gloom as you open the door into the laboratory of Bella O'Loon.
There is a map.
End of the session there.
Before we end,
there is a.
Make sure we get Strigum out so it doesn't die.
Yes, you can get Strigum out.
Thanks.
Yes. Good call.
Because that would be awkward.
there is a map, JJ, and I'll send it to you. And it's exactly what I'm thinking about right now. And I think it would have been perfect for this had we had I thought of it. I'll send it's on a website, and I'll send it to you. But it's
For
exactly
the
what I'm
outside or for the inside?
for the maybe for both. I think mainly just this bit we're on now. But I'll send it really good.
I look forward to seeing that. And I look forward to what you guys get up to inside next week.